loading. Millennial pause, give some time because sometimes it takes a little bit of moment before it all clicks in, before it actually shows up people's screens. And I say we're good. Welcome to the Wolfie and Tarrerdome show. We got a packed show today. We got a lot to talk about. It's been 2 weeks since we've done a show today. We're going to talk some basketball, just a little bit about basketball. We're going to talk some 49er stuff, of course, with cap space, OTAs, cuts, signings, all that. There's so much to talk about, so much to get to. But, of course, not of course, but there is something that Tarrerdome would like to say, that someone he recently lost, and I'll let him speak on that. He really feels in his heart that he needs to speak out and say something, say a few words. And I ask those who are not religious to please empathize with Tarrerdome here and understand that he's our boy. We love him, and respect to him. So I hope that you stick around and show some love for our guy here and let him speak and let him speak his mind. And I'm very grateful that he has the strength and courage to come on the show today to talk ball with us. But if you could just hear him out and see what he has to say, I really appreciate that, and thank you for being here. All right, Tarrerdome, the floor is yours, man. I'll let you go ahead and say your piece.
Thanks, Wolfie. I really appreciate you giving me a little bit of time here, man. I've recently our First Lady, Glendora Ford, co-pastor and wife to Apostle William T. Ford, my spiritual father. She passed away Sunday night, and she had been battling some health problems, man, and just what an incredible lady, what an incredible family, the Ford family. If you feel what I say, and if I've aired some of my preachings and sermons online, and these folks were just so instrumental in everything I've done. And uh, my buddy's gone, man, and I think I got a little slide here just to kind of give you who Glendora was. She was such an amazing lady.
Oh.
And let me go back here.
Oh, I'll let you do it. My bad,
She was such an amazing lady, and if co-pastor Glendora hugged you, you felt like your mother was hugging you. And my apostles going through a great deal, and that family, the Ford family, and our spiritual family go through uh, a lot right now. And I I I miss you, Glendora. I know you've gone. She is right now somewhere around God's throne, and she is a wonderful, beautiful, gracious, infectious lady, man. She just you had to know her. Maybe, and then that's why I put up on the screen just some of her pictures. She was that lady, and everybody kind of knows that lady. And she was our first lady, our co-pastor, and she is sorely missed. She is not lost, because God says, precious in his sight are the saints' deaths, and she's somewhere around God's throne right now. But we've got to march on. We've got to continue on, and prayers up for the Ford family and the Kingdom Impact Global Ministry family. And that's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, man. It's very brave, very strong of you to come on here. And whenever you lose somebody and do something like that, it's never an easy thing, especially someone close to you, someone who took your heart, and someone who weaved themselves in your heart, and then it gets ripped out. That's never it's never a good feeling. So I feel you, man. I'm glad that you're able to be strong enough and bring yourself out here to be able to speak clearly, and just based on your words, man, it sounds like she really was, and I can hear in your voice just how much she meant to you. And like you said, man, she's, and I'm not trying to sound like what people always say, the cliches, but she really is in a better place, man. She's in a place where she always wanted to be.
Amen.
And she blessed the people that are around her in her life. She obviously blessed you, so she did good, and that's what matters most. So, but I'm sorry for the suffering and pain and things of that nature. And I do hope the Ford family and all of them are, they get through this. And, that's all I can really say about that. But
amen.
Thanks to everybody else who said so many nice things in the comment section, man. You guys,
hey, y'all, man. Thanks all y'all. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Shout Tarrerdome, Red Jet, Crazy Juice, who also shout out to them, Cleo Young, so we just want to get that out there and really make sure put that in the universe and stuff like that, and it's really kind of hard to follow up on that, but I'm super like I said, I'm happy you're here, man. I'm glad that you're able to do this, and we could talk some basketball, football, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Get back.
Just know that, man. If you need time or anything like that, just let me know. We can make that happen, and we can always postpone and stuff like that. So
we'll be good. We'll be good. Glendora would like to hear me probably today. She said, "You use such big words."
I'm just smart like that.
Yeah, she read my book. She said some of the big words in there. I'm like, yeah, co-pastor, I got it.
Yeah. Would you like to say? I don't know. Would you like to say your favorite memory of Ford?
Oh man, she just Pastor Glenn, man, as apostle would preach, and he's just the most poignant leader as a spiritual father in my life, man. He's just that dude. But he would just recant stories about he would call her first lady, and he would talk about how they went on vacation and they didn't take any armor bearers with her. Armor bearers are usually the assistant to the pastor and the first lady, and they help you with your bags or they carry your stuff. So when you preach, you can focus on preaching, but that armor bearer will make sure your iPad's there or some tissues or stuff you need when you're about to preach, And he and Glendora didn't take any armor bearers with them on vacation, and they put them on the third floor, and the elevator wasn't working. And and they had their bags, and he said, first, we're gonna have to get in better shape right now. We gonna get in shape today because these bags about to wear us out, and he just had such a affinity for her. She loved him, he loved her, and it was just that, man. They go back and bicker a little bit back and forth, but they were your go-to for if you had trouble in your marriage, if you had family trouble, if you were going through things at work. They just always had your back. I'm big on being loyal, being faithful, and that's what these folks are all about. It. You never had to worry about something crazy in the news. They ain't go to no Diddy parties. You didn't see, any crazy money. They didn't say lock the doors or nothing like that. All they gave you was God's word and their realness and their genuineness, and they cared about you.
They didn't go lock the doors.
They ain't say lock the doors. Lock the doors. Everybody paid $100. No,
that's
man,
$40,000 tonight.
We got prison ministries and street ministries. They put it back in the community, in the country. They love these folks, man. They wonderful and beautiful, man. is the Jesse Jackson of the faithful. I want to say, go ahead, and if you don't, you will dread. That's Jesse. But they just wonderful people, man. Good people.
Most definitely, man. I'm glad she was a good person, someone close to your heart, and then good memories, fond memories. Like I said, left some good behind, and that's what matters most. So
yes,
all right, man. Let's go ahead and show the docket. If you want to, can you add something to the stage?
I can. Let me see here. Let me go back one.
I don't know if you have the ability to do that or not.
Let me see. I think I can. And let me share this. I can share this. Oh, I can't share it. I don't know if I could. I just had it up there. Somehow I got it.
I added to the stage. Only I think
there it is. There it is. Yeah. We talked Glendora, and this wasn't what we talked about previous. I had this already loaded, so it's all good in the hood. But we talked about co-pastor. Let's talk some NBA. We're gonna talk OTAs. Our best players. A listing came out in reference to that. And we're talking about the improvements of what's going to go on with the San Francisco 49ers. We can lead with the NBA. It's pretty much already set for the Oklahoma Thunder. They're going to be in the finals, and they're awaiting the winner of the Pacers-Knicks. And the Pacers got them down, man. It's 3-1. And the Pacers are playing. They are. That guy Halliburton, I fell in love with his shot during the end of the playoffs, but the end of the regular season. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna tell you, those Pacers do not play around. They run your tongue out. Siakam and them boys are serious. I was rooting for the Knicks, but sometimes they're writing on the wall, Wolfie. That a better team over there.
Yeah, man. It does seem like a lot of people, again, I'm more of a casual, as you know, but so I don't know the hype between all these teams and stuff. But from what I gathered, a lot of people thought the Knicks were going to take this series against the Pacers confidently. That was the majority of people saying, yeah, the Knicks are totally going to win this series in 5-6 games tops. And it's just like, it looks like it's not. The Pacers, honestly, like you said, man, Halliburton is a lot of people like him because he's a little cocky, I guess you could say. Him and his father, and they got that going on a little bit.
When they ban your dad from
yeah,
you probably got a little cockiness with you. Yeah,
something going on there. Yeah. I remember his dad got in the face of Giannis. I didn't like that myself, but honestly, I'm now a fan of the Indiana Pacers now because I want the Pacers to win it all, and I'll tell you why. Halliburton, I don't know if you saw in the short that I made, but Halliburton came out with a Brock Purdy jersey on.
Oh, did he?
And yeah, he was repping Brock Purdy.
Yeah, man. That's my guy. I knew I love that kid.
Right.
There's something about that kid,
There's just something about him, man. I was like, I can't hate him for some reason. Like, I kind of want the Knicks to win, but there's something about the Pacers and Halliburton. There's something going on there.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, all right, I guess I'm a Pacers fan in this series. I'm normally a Warriors fan, but go Pacers. You got my I'm jumping the bandwagon this
you got to ride the bandwagon. Just get on there and ride. They got room. Just jump on there. Don't pull a hamstring and boom bam. Been checking out hockey too. They've sent my Canes home in Carolina.
I saw the game. I was watching it too.
Yeah, that was over. So
you guys were up. It was 2-0. It was pretty crazy. All up into the second. I don't know if you watched it. Did you watch it at all?
I caught tidbits. I'm at work and I'm looking up and saying, oh, we might be in there. And then it's like, oh no, it's not happening.
What happened was it was 2-0. Hurricanes were hanging in there. It's like, okay, looks like they're doing a really good job. And then they let the Panthers just get in that one shot, and it was 2-1. And then literally, I think it was 30 seconds later, they score another goal, and it's 2-2. It's tied. And then like a minute and a half later, they score another goal. So they scored a goal. They scored 3 goals in like less than 5 minutes, taking the lead, and they just never,
They never
they're,
relinquish
the
momentum.
Panthers.
I was talking to you about momentum is not loyal. It is the the girlfriend that would always sell out to the higher bidder. If you start getting momentum, she's gone, man. She's going to the other side.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's she's on the corner. That's what you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
She's on the corner.
Momentum is for the streets, y'all.
yeah, without a doubt. And the Panthers are going to go to the Stanley Cup. The Oilers look like they're going to go to the Stanley Cup. They're up 3-1 themselves.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of the OKC and Pacers situation right now. But it will be a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup final. I'm going for the Oilers because I like Connor McDavid. He's like the LeBron James of Michael Jordan / whatever, the current icon of the hockey team of hockey right now.
Got you.
McDavid. I'm going for the Edmonton Oilers. Crazy Juice clearly is not going for the Oilers. He's going to go for the Panthers.
Yes, that was very well said there, Crazy Juice. You've declared.
Yeah, I hate Florida with a passion. So anything Florida, so I know you're a Florida Hurricanes.
I'm a Miami Hurricane.
I know that, but so I will try to refrain too much from the Florida hate. But usually hockey teams from Florida or anything like that, football teams from Florida. I don't go for Miami. I don't go for the Bucks. I don't go for the Jags. So it's just kind of like, I don't know why. I always had kind of animosity towards Florida. It's kind of weird. But so I just don't want to see the Panthers win again. That win back-to-back, that really bummed me out. But hopefully the Oilers can win it because I like Connor McDavid. He deserves something. So, but going back to basketball, who do you got for Pacers versus OKC if that were to happen?
If it were to happen and we still, the Knicks still could turn things around, turn it into a game 7. They got Brunson there and Cat played out of his mind a couple of games ago. It's hard. I love both of those kids, Halliburton and that SGA, man. Who is the MVP? Shea Butter. That's what they call him. Shea Butter. I am so crazy about that kid, man. Been following him. He jumped on my radar two years ago because I would look at who's statistically who's the best in the league, and I kept seeing his name in the top scorers. He was putting up 30 a game, so I'd go back watch Oklahoma City, and he would get the quietest 30 since Tim Duncan. The kid he wasn't braggadocious. He wasn't doing anything. He wasn't demonstrative. It wasn't explosive. But you look up at the end of the night, the guy's got 30 points, and it kept on being that way. So I like the humble guys who are just efficient and hitting you like a surgeon with a scalpel. And at the end, he's celebrating with his team. He's a great kid, and you know how I feel about Halliburton, man. And then you done told me Halliburton got the Brock jersey. Oh, dude,
that's it. Yeah. Strawberry says apparently they were teammates in college. Which, however way he's wearing the jersey, he's wearing the jersey. He's repping Brock. No one reps Brock.
Hey,
gotta do it. Got to do it.
That's my dude, man. Hey,
I have heard that. Is this true? I don't know enough again, but so I'll leave this professional opinion to you. Is I think his name's SGA?
Yes, Shea Gilgeous Alexander. Shea Gilgeous Alexander. I think that's it.
Is he or is he not a free throw merchant?
You get the call. Everybody knows a good player will get to the line and knock his free throws down. They were doing that with Dr. J. This is before you probably even mess with. Dr. J got to the line. Michael Jordan got to the line. Hakeem Olajuwon got to the line. Shaq got to the line. They get the fouls. You can mess with him if you want, but he gonna get to the line, and he's only averaging about 8 free throws a game. It's not like they getting 15 and just, as soon as if you touch him with a fingernail, they're like, oh, foul. You can't foul the guy. And that's just a sign of we really don't have an answer for him. All we could do is come up and say he going to the free throw line too much. He's got great moves, a step back. He's quicker than you. He's more explosive. Two people can jump, but if I jump a second quicker, you messed up. You done lost. And this is how it goes. The Stars get it, and he's your MVP.
I don't know. I did see there was one call that was ridiculous. Even I know the foul thing. I hate fouls like with a passion. I think fouls are so soft. It blows.
Oh yeah.
I get so frustrated when I watch it. But I did see one where I was like, even in basketball, there's no way. And it was like the most famous one. So I saw around social media. It was one where he was surrounded by four. He was surrounded by four players, and he went to go like to the basket. No one touched him, and he flopped. And he went for the shot, and he got the call, and everyone was like, "What? We didn't even touch the guy." So I to an extent, I see where people are coming from and stuff like that. But he's just taking advantage of what the refs are doing. And if it's more the refs than it is on, than you would put on SGA. SGA just knows how to work the system, and that's what he's doing.
Yes, sir.
Not against the rules.
Everybody knows. They say the same thing about Steph Curry.
Steph
Curry
does not do that.
He going to the line. He going to the line too much. It's just a fact of basketball. They're going to get the benefit of the doubt because they're the Stars. When you get MVP, you just get that benefit. You do. And it'll be one or two, but it's not like every time he misses a shot, they just say, okay, go to the line. Oh, no. But if it's close, SGA getting that call. And it's earned.
Okay. All right. So you're not with the free throw merchant tag. You're not with
not at all. Because then you got to go to the line and then you got to make it. There are some superstars, LeBron James, who are afraid to go through the line in pivotal moments. That's what makes them different, and that's a detriment to their legacy in their game. That's why they won't be Michael Jordan.
That one was going to be my next question. I was like, but LeBron also flops and tries to take advantage of the situation as well. So
yeah,
he deserves criticism for his flops because his flops, he flops.
He is
SGA took from LeBron. I thought when it comes to flops, the way he's
nobody touches the stratosphere of LeBron James when it comes to flopping. I'm gonna ask right now, my man Kali Young to go ahead and post in the chat how he feel about LeBron James and his flopping. That is next level legendary.
Without a doubt. So yeah, I mean, I was very curious about your opinion on that because I just kept seeing all over social media about how like, oh my God, he's this guy, and then the commentators are also calling him a free throw merchant. I thought that was just funny. I was like, even they are getting involved in it. I was like, there must be a thing here. So I was just I was very curious about that situation, and I mean, it's obviously it got to the championship. They're heading there and stuff like that. Some people were calling the Pacers versus OKC the boringest, lamest finals ever, which I mean, they say that about every team that goes. If your team doesn't go, they're going to say that about any matchup. They said that last year about the Eagles versus Chiefs, even though it was lopsided or whatever, but like a lot of people still watched it. The year before that, a lot of people watched the 49ers one. People said that was going to be the lamest one. This is what people say and throw out there every time their team doesn't go, or if it's not like the GOAT doesn't go or something like that, like Tom Brady doesn't go, or if their team doesn't go, it's either going to be the lamest matchup. To me, man, there's really no lame matchup, I think, in finals games. Like you could be like, I don't want to watch it because I don't care who wins.
That is the honest statement. That's what you need to say. No, it's bad because my team's not in there,
My team that I like is not going there, or a team I can sympathize with is not going there, right? There's no.
My dad was a diehard Cowboy fan, and whenever Dallas didn't go, he would say, "Ain't nobody gonna watch the Super Bowl this year because Dallas ain't it." And I could respect that. That's a real Cowboy there.
For sure.
It's not necessarily true, Dad. The 49ers are a really good team. And I'm going to watch, and you're going to watch too.
Without doubt. So, all right, you got OKC for the. You said you got OKC right for the championship, or do you got Pacers? That Halliburton jersey thing really kind of. You were going OKC. Now you're like maybe Pacers. I got a little bit of investment now.
I'll say OKC in 7. If it does that, the Knicks still have life. They still have life. The Knicks still can do some things, but given the notional OKC versus Indiana, I would go OKC in 7.
All right, so it's a tight battle there. It's gonna be close. I could see that. Like I've seen both teams play, and they kind of come off as like they're almost equal. They seem to all have players at all 5 positions that really benefit from each other. They really kind of like work off each other really well. They're quick, fast, things of that nature. That it's kind of what they both do. There's one thing. Your mic just went off. Oh, you're talking to somebody? Oh,
yeah. Dexter's down there barking. I gotta go see what he's barking about. I think the pool guy's here.
Okay.
Let me take a step out, Dolo.
All right. Tarredome's gonna go check in on somebody there, but just real quick, I'll just keep saying what I gotta say. I think these two teams, honestly, kind of come off the same way. Again, I don't know enough about basketball really, but it does seem like these two teams kind of have the same approach to each other, quick, fast guys that know how to shoot their 3 or really going for the 2 if they have to. I would say my complaint I really, you guys would know, people in the chat would know a lot more about what I'm saying here than I would. So totally, if you think what I'm saying is BS and stupid and bullshit, totally understand where it comes from. But from sometimes what bothers me about watching basketball sometimes is sometimes they will not think about the clock. It's kind of like running the ball where it's like you got to kill some of the clock. They're up like 14, 16 points or whatever. They got some momentum and they're not killing the clock. And that really kind of bothers me because to me, it's like, you're up by a lot. Don't you want them to have less time? Why are you shooting with like 24 seconds, 23? The moment you get down the field, the moment you get down the court, you shoot your shot. It's like, kill 15 seconds, kill that time. You miss. And if you miss, it's a really big deal because it's practically a turnover at that point. So I think to myself, I don't know if you heard Miss now. I was transitioning over to like my complaint with what the Pacers were doing.
Yeah.
I noticed the Pacers, like the last game, they were shooting as fast as they can, as soon as they can, not thinking about the clock. And I was like, shouldn't we be treating this like the run in football where you got to kill some of the clock? You're up by a lot, take away some time. Because if you miss, you better make that shot. If you shoot before 20 seconds, you better make that shot. If not, that's very costly. Because now it's practically a turnover. And
you're giving them more time to come back. You referenced that brilliantly and made the analogy of football and running the ball. You need to take time off the clock. You got the lead. Momentum's on your side. You got the clock on your side. Don't burn up the minutes on these frivolous 3-pointers with
that's what they were doing at the end of that game.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? And they score like 6-8 points or whatever in under a minute or something like that. And they're immediately back in the game again. And I was like, if you killed some clock, man, what are we here right now? So,
yes.
Yeah, I was getting invested.
In my day, you didn't do that because, it was just straight basketball. You understood that, hey, we want to move that thing. We want to get 3 passes, get it down, and get a point blank shot, a nice layup with our big man, a high percentage. But with the advent of, and I'm gonna throw this out there, and it's not a detriment to him, but the game changer that is, Steph Curry has affected the league and the game more so than LeBron James. And I say that because people want to be Steph Curry. People want to
jack incredible shots.
They jack that 3. In my day, if you jack that 3 up with 20 seconds on that shot clock, your next seat was on the bench beside Coach Burks or one of those. They would come out there and strangle you, embarrass you in front of your mom, your dad, the whole faculty, and
Well,
everything else. But it's a different game now. They jacked that three.
well, outside of like, from what I gathered from watching basketball, there's two big plays. There's two like really big ones. Okay, there's posterizing somebody, which is like just slam dunk, right? It's like an intense dunk or whatever, or someone tossing the ball and you dunk it, like those kind of type things. Those are exciting. You're like, oh, well, that was crazy. You didn't see that coming. It's like a shot almost, where it's like everything's just kind of moving pieces, and all of a sudden a player just comes in and just does a slam, and you're like, oh, that's intense. But the next big thing is the 3-pointer, and when you see someone do a funky 3-pointer with on a funky platform, and they make that shot, you're like, whoa! And then when that guy goes bang, you're like, oh, you feel that, and you're just like, okay. So and Steph Curry, revolutionized that big play, and so of course he affected the game that way, where like everyone wants. It's kind of like where wide receivers want to get the touchdown, they want to get the yards because it's exciting, it's fun, and they get the praise. It's the same thing with 3-pointers, where you're doing that, getting assists. Yeah, if you do a cool pass, someone's like, "Oh, that was a cool pass," or something like that. You don't get all that love and stuff if you do things like that. But if you revolutionize those big plays like that, you're gonna get a lot of love, and you're gonna people are going to want to do that more.
That's how that's how it is. That's how it is.
The
crowd gives you energy. And when they get more excited, it affects you. It just simply does. Whether you're a comedian, whether you're a politician, whether you're a preacher, whether you're a performer, that crowd will just ignite you. It does. You feel energy, and it's instant gratification. And man, you get beside people often talk about when you get to the end zone, just put the ball down and toss it to the ref and act like you've been there before. That tells me you have never been there before. when you get to that end zone and that crowd goes crazy, it is something that comes over your body, brother. You might see the electric slide if Tarrerdome hit that end zone. I'm telling you, it is easy to sit there and say, well, I would just be a good all-American boy.
All that energy is pointed towards you, essentially. So, yeah.
No. You gonna cut the food or get a sack. Yeah, you are out there like Ric Flair when you get a sack. I know how it feels. Obviously, people who say something different don't know how it feels.
Oh yeah, I have I'm sure you do, but I have my high school moment too.
Yeah,
I have that feels really good.
Yeah,
I was playing. I guess I'll talk about my. I know I'm a couch GM or whatever now these days, but in high school, my favorite play that sometimes I'll talk to my friend and I'll be like, I'll reminisce about it, and he'll talk about it too because he has moments too like that. When I was playing football, it was in the rain, and the guy kicks it off, and I'm like, okay, it's raining and stuff like that, and I get the ball, and the defenders just bum rushing me, and I run to my right, and I instinctively just put out my hand and do this. I do a Derrick Henry stiff arm to his face.
There you go.
Throw him to the ground, and I hear from like my teammates, and I'm just all focused on that, but I do hear like the what?
What happened? You went crazy.
I went crazy on this one, man. I gotta brag. I gotta flex here.
Yeah, man.
Defenders came in around like this, and they went high instead of low, and so I ducked and I went through like it looked like 3 or 4 defenders. I could be wrong, but it was all flash. And I went under. I did not get on my knees. Didn't no part. It was just my hand touching the ground, and I went really low with the ball in my hand. I went right under him, and everyone was like, "What?" And then the last defender, and he was like this. I don't remember. He was like a really tall dude, super fast, and he was bum rushing me so fast. I was like, "Oh shit!" And so I kept running, and he was just about to tackle me like this. And I did like a stutter step like that, and I ducked under it. He falls over, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm about to the end zone." And he falls over. He gets back up, and he bum rushes me again. And I'm maybe like I think like 10 yards away from the end zone. and he has quick speed. This guy is just bolting towards me. I'm like, oh shit. I got after all of that, I have to get to the end zone. So I was like, I was so exhausted, and then I leaped over like this as he like grabbed me. He actually tackled me this time, and I leaped over and I got the end zone. They were like touchdown. I was like, yeah!
Oh man, yeah,
I felt
it
was the greatest feeling ever. Everyone was like, dude, you see that stiff arm you gave that guy?
Yeah,
what were you doing?
You on the bench telling everybody, oh yeah, you saw that when I gave him that, yeah. It does. It just does that run that Saquon Barkley had last year, man, when he spins and then jumps backwards
up,
and the guy goes underneath him. Dude, you can go to a Super Bowl off of that. That adrenaline it does not go away. And the crowd affects you. The crowd, your teammates affect you. It is instant gratification from your peers and those who are fans of the game and those who came out to see it, your family, your friends, even your haters, they got to acknowledge it. So
yeah, you look over at them, they're just like, whoa. So yeah, it's a feeling you can't. So I understand how it could be intoxicating and how it can be addictive, and it's not like I'm ignorant to why some people get egos and overflaved by. Because it's high school compared to NFL. I can only imagine what the NFL is like, but like in high school, I got a feeling a little bit of what that's like.
Man, yeah, college.
I will say, if I did not injure my shoulder, I would have made the NFL.
All right,
that's what every high school person says.
We're going with that hot take notional, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm doing it. I had that instinct, man. I grew up in the ghetto. I had to run from alleyways, run from gangs members and stuff like that, man. I had that whole instinct, bro. So I know I'm not trying to sound like that unk that was like, man, I would have been in the NFL.
Yeah, like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. Man, if he's put me
one more, we could have won state.
If I didn't injure my shoulder, we would have won state, and I would have.
Yeah, we won state. For real, Uncle Rico.
So that was 110% like my favorite moment in high school and stuff like that. I absolutely loved playing football. What about you, man? What was your favorite? Your favorite movie you played?
So many, man. So many. I was blessed at just a young age, man. My first sack I was 8 years old playing for the Bethlehem Steelers. And back then, when you were defensive player of the game or offensive player of the game, they put your name in the program for the next week. So I got a big sack against I think it was the Chamberlain Chargers, because all the schools, all the people have mascot names that were NFL related.
NFL ones, yeah.
The Brooklyn Redskins, Blue Star Cowboys, the Bethlehem Steelers, the Chamberlain Chargers.
They come off as like Temu versions of
NFL teams. We were the tot versions of the real deal,
Yeah.
And so this is the 70s, and this is when the Steelers are it's title town. It's the dynasty. So I got a big sack then, man, and got my name in the program, and the coaches and everything are celebrating you, and you're instantly addicted. This will take you to middle school when you're 13 and 14 years old. This will take you to high school at 15, 17, 18. This will take you to college at 20 years old. You're addicted to just big plays and the approval of guys you respect. When they say, man, Tara can hit, man. Tara can hit. Oh, yeah, he could. I will give life and limb I will knock myself out trying to knock you out to get that taste of adrenaline. That's what I do.
It's like you gotta get your fix, and how you get your fix, you gotta go out there and make that play. It's like an addict having to make sure they get their fix.
Yes, sir.
And, so yeah, I know. It's such a unique feeling and stuff like that. And That's kind of what it's like. What we're doing. It's what I'm doing right now. It's what you were doing too. It's like you're just reminiscing about that time where you're like, man, I needed my fix, man, and when I got it, oh my god,
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. So let's go ahead and what else did you put on this docket here? OTAs. We can talk about OTAs real quick. They are the content creators. What else? Content creators are out there today. Some reporters are out today. So we're going to hear some things about players going off, who went bad, and stuff like that. So that's going to be happening for the next, I believe, until like what the second. I think
I had it pulled up online on what goes into phase. We're at phase 3. We'll get to phase 2 and phase 1. In phase 3, it is meetings and conditioning and 7-on-7s and 9-on-9s or something to that effect. Mostly 7-on-7s and stuff. So you're gonna see that along with some pass rush versus pass blocking. You're gonna see a little bit of that, and it's just incrementally to get your palate wet a little bit, give some familiarization to the offense and what we might be implementing on a general scale. We're obviously not going to be game planning right now, but you should be getting the overall theme of what we're going to do, what are our expectations, what we're looking for. And it is an opportunity for people to jump up on the depth chart, people to jump up and stake their claim on some of these open positions. And speaking of which, they've already made a kind of a splash with the special teams with Mr. Wisnowski is out here. They done gave him the deuces. So stuff can happen a little bit in phase 3 OTAs.
Yeah, speaking of Mitch Wisnowski, man, I said this live yesterday, but I just want to give a shout out again. I liked him. I thought he was a good punter. He never, the way I look at it, he never made me think, oh my God, you're a shit punter, or let that was a shit punt.
Yeah.
And if you do that, I think you did your job. I like that. Some people say he wasn't the best, but I don't know. I've seen him kick it inside the 5 a few times. I've seen him do his job just fine to me. So I never had a problem with the guy. I thought he didn't cause any problems, didn't choke anybody out. There was no issues with this guy. So I know he's 33 years old. We got him when he was like 28 or something like that. So he was a little older, but shout out to him, man. I respect him. I feel like he's a nice life. I liked what he brought to the table. It's sad to see that his back pain, his back problems has taken him out of the game, especially as a punter where it's like, you're not even taking big hits or anything like that. You're just kicking the ball. So whatever it is that you're doing, man, stop doing that. Whatever you're doing on your off time, you need to stop doing that.
Got to get them massages. Good massages, not the Deshaun.
No Deshaun Watson massages. We're talking about regular ass massages. It did seem like the 49ers wanted to keep him. They wanted to keep him around. They were like, hey, let's see if you can heal. Let's see if you can get over it. And then when OTAs come around, if you're not healthy, we'll get rid of you, but we'll give you an opportunity to heal. Because if they were just like, let's move on from you, they would have just done it earlier, like a long time ago. But it seems to me they really wanted him back, and it just wasn't in the cards. So sad to see him go. Sad to see that the back pain held him back and he can't play anymore. Mad respect for him. He was never a problem, never an issue, and I think Niner for life for that guy. But we ended up getting Thomas
Morstead, 39 years old. He's reports on Niner News says he's hardly the long-term solution, but he is an immediate upgrade, according to CBS Sports. 39 years old, is going on his 17th NFL season, has been is stuck around a long time, and he does have consistency, says John Breach of CBS Sports. He averages 47.2 yards per kick, which is ranked 16th overall in the NFL, although he didn't crack the top 10. Morstead has ranked in the top 10 for punt yards in 10 of his 16 seasons. Morstead net punting average is 40.7, which is pretty good, which is slightly below his career average of 41.5. This is Boyer really staking his claim, which is what phase 3 is made for, on these special teams are going to be different. They're going to be a point of emphasis. We are. You might not win a game on special teams, but we daggone show not losing it. And if it's on me, he's putting head coach energy into special teams. And I gotta say, Wolfie, given it's 1/3 of the 3 phases of NFL football, I like that. I do like that. I think it's been neglected for far too long, and Kyle has didn't prioritize it, and we lost some games on special teams. One could say the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that. Oh my God, dude, the need to hit. Yeah, we can get to that later, but like we can get to that another time in the future. But it's costly. It's costly, and I'm glad that they're doing it just kind of contributes to what I said earlier, where this entire off season they're on common ground with the fans. They're really flipping things around. They're really actually fixing things. They're breaking down the vehicle and repairing it, putting it together, getting rid of all the rust and stuff like that. They're really taking it down, and I like what they're allowing Brant Boyer to cook. They're letting Brant Boyers be obviously bringing in his guys. You could tell these are Brant Boyers guys from the Jets. Like these are. You got Chaz Surratt, from what I've heard, is a special teams ace.
Oh, they love him. Yeah, man. Shout out Chaz. Chaz Surratt.
A lot of people speak very, very highly of this guy. And this punter, he's good. He's not the best. He's not top 10 or whatever, but he's still good at his job. You're able to get a guy like that. 39, whatever, 1 year deal. Try to find a punter for the next year. Pay attention to college, pay attention to CFLs, whatever they are, and stuff like that. Try to find your next guy, but like he's a good bridge punter that you got right now, which is really good. So in this mass overhaul of special teams, I cannot be more excited. I'm so pumped to see. Like I've never been more excited to see what the special teams are like at any point of my 49ers tenure. As a fan, I've never been more excited to be like, okay, let's see what Brant Boyer can do. Let's see if Brant Boyer can cook, because Kyle, John, and the rest of the coaching staff are letting him cook, letting him adjust it, let him do his thing, and get his players who he wants. They're like it's such a there is nothing the same about this special teams situation, from players to coaches, that Brant Boyer has this resume, has this reputation all across the league, that it's almost like Robert Saleh, where I'm thinking to myself, okay, in Brant Boyer I trust, because he has, like, who am I to judge? Who am I to be like, say, you're wrong for keeping Jake Moody and doing this, or you're wrong for doing something, and yet you have this resume and reputation from all across the league, from players to coaches. Who am I to doubt you in that? I'll let you show me. If you fail, that's different. But I haven't seen what you could do with this team, and I'm going to let you cook, and I'm going to you're going to take me on this journey, and let's see how it goes. It's kind of, and just, I know I brought the Jake Moody thing, where it's like, it's the same thing with Jake Moody. A lot of people just want to cut him outright. If Brant Boyer says that, hey, I can fix him and give him a shot, a guy of that reputation of like Robert Saleh, I'm going to trust him. Be like, okay, he thinks he can fix him. He's having Jake Moody do a different kick technique, which is a 2-step instead of a 3-step. They got him a new long snapper. They got him a new punter. They got him. They really changed things up for this guy to possibly maybe succeed and do better. They brought in a kicking competition, and Jake Moody has never had a kicking competition until now. So that's pressure, and we all know how he does with pressure, right? He's never had a kicking competition until now.
It either makes diamonds or bust pipes.
Exactly.
We're gonna see.
So it's either Jake Moody is gonna continue to crash under pressure, or we're gonna have a mid kicker in Greg Joseph. It's just one of those two things. So it's not like Brant Boyer is ignoring the Jake Moody thing. He's aware of it. He's acknowledged it, and he's also said, I also know what he's capable of. He said that all 32 special teams coaches had Jake Moody coming out of college as the number one kicker, as the guy with a bright future. And it is his 3rd year. I will say this, though. If he fails, this is his opportunity. Because if he fails, he's going to be cut in preseason. He'll get a job somewhere else. Someone else won't take a shot at him. A team that's not successful will take a shot at him. But keep in mind that if Brant Boyer, with his expectations and what he's doing to Jake Moody, I trust his process. I'm going to trust him in what he knows, what he's doing, what he's talking about. Because like I said, he has that reputation. He has that resume that I have to respect as a fan. So I get frustrated when people say, you just got to cut Moody. You just got to cut. That's an emotional decision. That's an emotional decision. And it's just you're letting something that happened last year let you dictate how things should be this year when there were circumstances, a different coach, when everything's different now. So maybe it'll be different for him. But it doesn't even guarantee him a spot either. It's like you swear like we just left Jake, like we're just guaranteeing him the job and there's no competition and we did nothing to adjust or try to fix him. We're just putting him out there like, we'll see if it works again. No, they are actually doing something about Jake Moody.
There it is, man. There it is. And I see in the chat they say, hey, get the old line right too. And hey, we don't want to let improvement be the enemy of perfection. So as long as you're moving in the right direction and you're moving positive, to me, I like the improvement. Another thing too about Jake Moody, and somebody brought this stat up. I think it was either Larry Kruger or some of the great folks at on Niner content creation. They said before his injury against I think it was Arizona or maybe Tampa. I think it was Arizona. He was 13 of 14, but after he out there trying to be Ray Nitschke and Ray Lewis trying to make a tackle, and he goes down with the high ankle sprain, it changed drastically, and his percentages went down, and a little bit of leg strength went down as well. So that did factor into it. We were beat up last year. I gotta tell you, last season, it's not an excuse, but it is a tangible reason for some of the subpar performances, namely the record of the San Francisco 49ers, man. It is a part of football. Injuries are a part of football, and you got to factor into that. But come on, man, some of the stuff that went on last year, the high angle sprain. We were looking for kickers, and then his replacement kicker got injured as well. Yeah. You get torn ACLs, MCLs, meniscus, Achilles. Guys flying to Germany trying to get their stuff together, and and then we have tragic deaths that happen to two teammates on the same team, losing children that are less than 1 year old. Some of that stuff just. Give me a little bit of leeway. Give me some latitude. But for a lot of people to sit and just say, well, they just sucked last year, they're going to suck this year and suck every year after that, because slow down. Just 1
year doesn't define you. Yeah. There were circumstances that really kind of held him back, let's be honest. And, his rookie year wasn't that bad. Yeah, he had some bad moments. He had one missed kick, I think, and a couple more after that. But for the most part, it was above 80% kick field goal percentage. He was statistically a top 7 or top 8 kicker in the league. Yeah, is it what you expect from a third-round pick? Probably not. But like if you're talking about keeping your job and being a kicker, he was still doable in that first year as keeping your job. It's just that you expected more from a third-round pick to do that. That's the only reason why people are upset.
Third-round kicker, yeah. It's high expectations with that draft, man.
Yeah, and so
you draft the dude high, you got to come in here and be that, man.
You got to be number 1, number 2, number 3 type kicker. You got to make those clutch kicks and stuff like that. But the reality of things, in his rookie year, he was still a good kicker, being a top 7, top 8 guy. So and then 1 year to back, last year terrible. Wasn't good at all. Missed a lot of kicks. Gets a lot of crap for that. I understand that. I know exactly where it comes from.
Yeah, man.
But my thing with this comment here is this movie is 30 year. How long are you gonna get a pass on what you did in college? He has to show and improve. I feel like you were not listening, and that's kind of frustrating. Literally, I already addressed that. I literally said that this year they're doing something different, and he does actually have to prove it in this offseason.
Funny, that dude is funny.
Just 1 year after the other, man. Just like I don't think you heard me. I'm not saying like he just gets another shot. I literally said that they're not just putting him out there and saying, hey, go prove yourself. No. And just being like, okay, you're going to get the job no matter what. Like I feel like I told you that he's literally changing his kicking situation. He's not guaranteed this job. He's in a competition with Greg Joseph. He's got a new special teams coach. So right now, working with them, got a new long snapper and a new punter to work with. They're doing so many things that are different for Jake Moody to be successful, to give him an opportunity, not a guaranteed job, an opportunity to prove himself. And that's what he's doing. So you're right. He has to show and prove ASAP. That's literally what's happening.
And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, Wolfie. If he can't, hey, we're giving bus tickets and plane tickets. Exactly. He'll be on the first thing smoking. If he doesn't pan out, if you don't hit the performance expectations, given the competition, given the competitive nature of what we're doing here, the regime change, you're gonna be gone. Wisnowski, will get a travel buddy. So this is what we're dealing with.
This is ASAP. Like you're like he's got what, OTAs, training camp, and preseason. That's it. That's what he has, and he has that pressure. So I just feel like I was talking about what he did in college because of what I was just referencing what all 32 teams coaches thought of this player. I wasn't saying just because he was highly touted coming out of college that suddenly he's just going to get guaranteed a job. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking
and with that and really with the round we picked him in was the 3rd round, but in context, that year our 3rd round was basically our 1st round. We didn't have a 1st and a 2nd round due to the Trey Lance deal, and we ain't gonna go into that. Amen. But those were just really, really, man, those are valuable picks and selections for us at that time. For a lot of people, hey, 3rd round pick, hey, it's all good. On a regular draft, it's at the 3rd round, don't hit. But for us, in that year, with 3 3rd rounders, dude, you better be on it like a hornet. We had to wait around day 1. Was that day 2 we started the 3rd round? Yeah, it was day 2, night 2. Yeah, it was night 2. Yeah. It definitely won't night 1. That was all 1st rounders, and we had to wait all the way through the 2nd and get to the 3rd.
So all those good players go. You're just like, oh no, we could use that guy.
Like, oh, we could have had him. Oh, that guy went. Oh, and we're just on, and then we wait night 2, and man, I remember Jed York tweeting, "Let's kick this thing off with a bang," and I'm like, oh no, we're getting a kicker.
Get a kicker and a trash tight end.
And a trash tight end, boy. Woo!
That was a terrible. That was the worst one. That was worse. That's worse.
When you draft somebody, oh Wolfie, that thing hurt.
I try sometimes when, like, Nick Martin, for example. Like, let's use that for example. This previous draft, where I thought to myself, we drafted this guy. I was like, okay, let me go look at the film. At least let me be excited and like something about his game. I do. I see what they've seen him. Do I think it's a reach? Yeah. I also thought I forgot the tight end's name, but he
Cameron Latu.
Cameron Latu. Cameron dropped 2 as something.
Cameron dropped 2. Yeah, he'll drop 2.
He'll drop 2. Like, you go back, you watch Nick Martin, you're like, okay, I could see it. A little bit of reach, but still, I see the potential. There's some good here. I kind of like it. But with the Latu thing, you're like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see anything at all. Like, there's nothing that I watched. I was like, he's got size, but a lot of players just have size.
Yeah, you can get a big dude. Like, what the heck you can get a big dude down at the Y. Yeah, no, man. And hey, it played out. It played out exactly the way I thought it would. This guy can't play dead in a Western.
So I thought it was a reach at the time, and I was 110% correct. And that was a terrible pick. Nick Martin, at least you see something from the guy. So at least there is that. So
Ty Austin hates the word reach.
He hates the word reach. Like,
I know you must
hangs on to it for like a week.
And Ogilvy, what's that? Ogilvy or whatever toothbrush it is. You don't use a reach toothbrush. You hate reach. You never watched the show Reacher. that guy can't stand a reach.
what Ty Allison did say here though. Damn shame the coaching staff had Mooney go out there kicking while injured, and no one blames them. I do agree with that assessment. Like as much as I don't like to give that coaching staff too much shit, you gotta be realistic in that aspect of
Man.
they could have kept with another kicker and they forced him to go out there and still make kicks. Because if that's the excuse that he was injured, then that means the coaching staff needs to be blamed for that. Either
those
Brian Schneider, Kyle Shanahan, whatever it may be.
I've looked back at an old some of our old stuff from that season, and we were discussing and we were talking about around week 7. We were saying, with the bye week coming up, I think it's going to be week 8 or week 9. Are we going to fire Schneider? And I was a big proponent of that. I thought we would fire him at the bye week.
Yeah.
That's how I know
his janitor, like I keep saying.
You can go back and look at your films and look at your old posts and capture what you were saying there. I know those coaches suck. Sorensen was he looked like he ran moonshine on the weekends, and Schneider, I would have had Schneider from one day at a time. I'm dating myself. Than this dude, man. Schneider
I would have kept Sorensen over Schneider. That's how bad it's special team. If you had to pick him, I honestly would have picked Sorensen over Schneider. Schneider was that bad. He was the reason why you lost games. I know Sorensen was also too with his terrible defense, but even I thought at the time, I was like, okay, if we keep him, he's young. He could probably get better. I mean, the same thing happened with Robert Saleh. He needed time to probably get better. Maybe that would work out. Brian Schneider had all the experience. He's been around for years. There's nothing. It's kind of like with Brendel. Brendel's 33 years old. He's not going to get any better. If anything, it's going to be a decline from here. It's the same thing with Brian Schneider. I don't expect him to get any better. He's been doing this for 2 years straight, and he's been the worst for 2 years straight. It's time for him to go. I would much rather have seen Schneider go and kept Sorensen if I had to keep between one of the two. And
Tyler to know what I'm talking about. It was Schneider from One Day at a Time. He used to it was an old 70s, it was in the 70s, a sitcom, and Schneider used to roll up his cigarettes in his sleeve like this.
Damn.
and he had a mustache. He had a porn star mustache, and he used to go and see Valerie Bertinelli and Mackenzie Phillips at the apartment, and it was a great sitcom. It was right around the time with WKRP in Cincinnati, and what else was on there? Dang, those were the main two I used to like. One Day at a Time. It was, y'all go back and YouTube it. Threes, he was out there then, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this guy is like, it's just, I'm glad they fired him, and like I said, they obviously knew he had to go and stuff. And I agree with you. I was genuinely shocked that we just didn't fire him during the bye week and got moved on because he was just that bad. But I kind of thought maybe it kind of felt this way even after the bye week, even though technically we were still in it. It felt like even if we got rid of Brian Schneider, it wasn't going to get any better because the rest of the team was also faltering from the defense to the offense, all 3 phases from injury, personal tragedies to bad luck. Like it just, so I guess to an extent, I see why they didn't do it. But also, it's kind of like you need to do something different and show the fans who are watching a better product, or try to give them a better product of what they're watching, what they're committed to. And so I understand why you didn't do it, but at the same time, it's just like you gotta keep trying to do something different every single time if it's not working. If you're the bottom of the barrel, do whatever it takes to get someone else and get the janitor, get the hair salon lady down the street. I don't care. Like, I need to see a different name up there. You've had your opportunity. If you're the worst of the worst, you are gone. Yeah. I'm sure there's a rhyme in there I could use that'd be really cool. I can't think of one, but if you're the worst of the worst, you got to go. And yeah, I'm super frustrated. I was super frustrated all year, like just seeing his face, seeing him constantly talk and things of that nature. It was driving me nuts. But I'm glad that we addressed him. We got Brant Boyer, the best available special teams coach. We got Robert Saleh, the best defensive coordinator available as well. They really took a risk with that, by the way. I remember before Robert Saleh was signed, moving on to Robert Saleh real quick, before Robert Saleh was signed, a lot of people were like, man, they're gambling because all these other coaches are being signed, like Jeff Ulbrich, and I think there was a couple other defensive coaches being signed. everyone was like, "Is this gamble might not work out, and you're going to get stuck with Brandon Staley."
Brandon Staley didn't do anything. He was like Tommy on Martin. He had no job. I still don't know what he was here for. He was supposed to be the defensive guru something, and
he was like the defensive assistant.
He didn't do anything.
He helped with nickel packages and dime packages and stuff like that. And I don't ever want to see him do that because I saw 2 safeties on Justin Jefferson, which is the stupidest thing in the world.
I'm here for the nickel package.
Yeah, he's just here for certain things, and I think the gamble that they made, it worked out obviously, and I'm glad they did. That's something I backed. That was something I really wanted them to get, and it worked out for them. So they got the best defensive coordinator available. They got the best special teams coach available. I think probably thanks to Robert Saleh because of that Jets connection.
Yes, yeah, so, that's true. And we got Gus Bradley too.
So. And we got Gus Bradley. I'm not as high on Gus Bradley, but you guys are. I know I'm the minority on that one. Where I'm like, whatever. But a lot of people, I know a lot of people.
It's probably a hookup. Hey, you hired me when I was down. Let me go ahead and bring you a little bit of money.
Yeah. And if Robert Saleh trusts him and stuff like that, and it's not like he's making the game plans or anything like that. So it's not like I'm offended or worried of any kind. He's just there to back up what Robert Saleh has to say and do. So as long as Robert Saleh's in charge, it's not a big deal to me. But moving on over to, because we just talked about special teams. I guess I didn't ask you, what do you think of the Jake Moody thing? Because I had this whole spiel about Jake Moody, how I feel about it.
I like
that, how do you feel?
Like it? We got to give him. We're gonna give him some runway because he is Jake Moody. He did suffer an injury, and we're gonna work things out. And we got Greg Joseph here. If it's the seriousness that is, and he can't perform, we got Greg Joseph just sitting there waiting, and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Need competition. And for the people that say Brock Purdy needs competition too, you got McCorkle Jones.
You got Jones Matt.
And the Mississippi, or the what's it called, the Maple Missile, he's here, and he's gonna get pushed too. But in my eyes, Brock Purdy, man, to have it all stacked against you and to be the 7th round pick and you entering depth charts, not to even make the team, and you just continuously beat out everybody, wait your turn, get your turn, and turn and burn. Hey, man, it ain't much competition you can throw at him. Keep on throwing it at him. He done sent Sam Darnold, the Pastronaut, who else? Sudfeld. He done sent all of them away from you. You just barking up the wrong tree. If you looking for this dude to give up on it, it ain't happening. This dude gonna come after you full throttle. He's gonna get you. Yeah, that's my guy.
And he just got paid guaranteed money pretty much. So he's the guy regardless of that competition. So like competition's not it like did Joe Burrow need competition? Does Josh Allen need competition? Did Tua need competition? Did all these other guys did like all these quarterbacks, once you're established as a franchise guy, it's the pressure is that you are the franchise guy. That's that competition. Like, hey, you are the pressure on. I think that you need competition if like you're not a franchise guy yet, you haven't got that contract yet. But once you get that money, it doesn't, to me, and I think you disagree with this, but to me, it's like, yeah, you do need a backup, someone who can probably come in and win a couple of games and stuff like that. But that's how I look at it. I don't look like Brock needs a competition because he's already solidified as that franchise guy where it's like there's no competition to be had. If he has like a bad year this year, then it becomes like a competition next year. But I think like this year with getting his contract, the guaranteed money he has now, there's nothing like Brock can have just a terrible year this year and it wouldn't matter to him this year. But next year it probably would because, okay, now we could probably have to find someone to replace him and it becomes a competition. So I just – and to an extent, I agree, but I also think that like he's established.
And this is a little graphic that I ran across here. This is since Brock Purdy became the starter, week 14 of the 2022 season. Total QBR, top 5 in the National Football League.
That's a boy.
Josh Allen at 72, Lamar Jackson at 71, Brock Purdy at 70, Patrick Mahomes at 67, and Joe Burrow at 66. This is ESPN. I'm not just pulling out stats and just obscuring it, but to all the haters, debaters, and master debaters and naysayers, this is what it is. It's simply what it is. And you might not want it, you might not like it, but these are his peers. This is total QBR. That's it.
Yeah. He's got constant metrics, not just statistics, because QBR is a metric, not a statistic. It's a metric. He has metrics and statistics that is up there with, teams. With players that are in top 5. And I'm not saying he's a top 5 quarterback, right? But to say like he's just this bad quarterback, he's just the system guy, is absolutely ridiculous. He's constantly showing you that either through metrics because QBR is a metric of what you contribute to the offense. Like you as a sole individual as a quarterback, that's what QBR is. So QBR is telling you how much he contributes to the offense in a grade. And that's exactly what Brock Purdy does. According to, in the NFL, he's the third best contributor to his team with all 32 teams. That's what QBR is telling you right now. It's a metric that's saying that he's that important to this team. So it's just, and then people are like, oh, statistics aren't a thing. This is not a statistic. This is a metric. This is a metric. The metric is made up of statistics, your statistical value, how you throw it downfield, your completion percentage, what you meant to a win, what you meant to a loss, throwing the ball, deciphering the defense, performing, wins. These are the guys. If you X out Brock Purdy, would anybody have a problem with the other 4 quarterbacks saying that they're pretty good? Would anybody say anything if we took Brock Purdy out and just looked at that Mount Rushmore of QBR passers? Just please explain to me, tell me what is wrong being in this group smack dab in the middle. Just explain yourself. Explain yourself. That's all I say. Well, it's also a metric of like it also comes into effect of tight window throws and accuracy on tight window throws. It's also decision making with like, is this a bad pass or is this a good pass? And do you throw accurately in this situation? There is so many QBR, like people are like, oh, QBR doesn't matter. QBR matters. QBR it's like, it's not what I call it is like some people take how do I put this? People take statistics that are, they're very picky, choosy statistics. They'll be like, oh, in the fourth quarter at this moment, at this time, he's bad at this point.
Yeah. When it's raining and the passes are coming from the east to west. Yes, he has a problem.
It's you choose, you pick and choose out of the statistics to create a bad one. It's the accumulative statistics that matter, because then that tells you a story. It's not, if you look at evidence of something and you only got one evidence for one thing, but everything else doesn't add up, then guess what? That one thing is an outlier. What you do is you accumulate everything and you put it together. What story is it telling you? If you have a passer rating, QBR, air yards per attempt, a good completion percentage, and then you take the situation that they're in, you accumulate that all together, and then you form yourself a argument of what kind of quarterback is this guy? Because you can have a high QBR, but a decent passer rating and not a very good air yards per attempt. But if you're constantly up there with a good completion percentage, air yards per attempt, passer rating, QBR, that's not an outlier. That is a cumulative stats, a cumulative evidence to tell you something. People say, oh, stats don't matter. There's more to NFL stats. There's more to an NFL stat than there's stats. If you were to take everything and they match, then that matters. What frustrates me is people just say, like, I understand that, like, on the field stuff, there's things that are not taken into account, like, clutchness and things of that nature. Like that's a different story. But here's just statistically what they bring to the table If you were to bring a lot to the table, your QBR, passer rating, air yards per attempt, and completion percentage are going to be high, whether you like it or not. That's going to, if you bring a lot to the table, those are going to be up there. So if it's not up there, guess what? You do not bring a lot to the table because that's the evidence. That's the evidence. So I disagree with, and I feel like when I'm in a minority with that, when people say statistics don't always matter. One statistic doesn't matter. A very specific statistic that is not backed up by other statistics. Those don't matter. What matters is, can you create this evidence, this argument that this matters? So it's just, I don't agree with doesn't matter. Brock Purdy has a high QBR, high passer rating, high air yards per attempt, high completion percentage. That doesn't matter. Ridiculous. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, all those guys have high QBR, high passer rating, high air yards per attempt, high completion percentage, and it tells you the story. So because if those statistics don't matter and that evidence accumulated matter, and they were all low, then they would be bad. They would not be good. They would constantly, it would show up on the statistics cumulatively how bad they were. And because you're able to argue that Lamar Jackson is good, you'd say, oh, his QBR is great, his passer rating is great. On this situation, he is great. And it's not that one situation, if it's not backed by the rest, is pointless because he's just good at one thing that at one moment in time, not as a full spectrum of the game. So I believe stats tell you a story. And I keep repeating myself, but I'll end it here. I think a cumulative of stats tell you a story. Oh, you cannot just give me one stat and say this is who he is. Because I want to see the rest of it.
Yeah, give me everything, and I'll formulate this guy is that, or that guy ain't this right here. As far as
you got one puzzle piece, and it's like you got to put it all together. It's like when you go to trial. When you go to a trial, you don't have just one thing of evidence and then you move on. You have cumulative evidence to prove your argument, to make your point.
There you go.
And so it's not just no one should use QBR. No one should use QBR. You should use QBR, but that can't be your only argument. You can't just say, oh, he has a high QBR, but he's trashed everything else, so that doesn't matter. You should use QBR, but you also need to use other things to back it up. That's what you need to do.
That's it.
So to do not ignore QBR, but don't let that be your whole entire argument. And that's the frustrating part. It's like everyone just thinks like, oh, well, that shouldn't matter. Well, then none of it matters. It's all opinionated. There is no argument. I can think Mac Jones is the best quarterback in the NFL. You cannot prove me wrong. You cannot do it. If none of that matters, if no statistics matter, none of that, if the accumulation of statistics don't matter or metrics, guess what?
Take it all out. Don't keep score. Don't matter. Don't count championships. Don't count wins. Don't count pressure. Don't count nothing. Just line all the guys up with no logos on and just pick a guy. Yeah.
I can say that guy's greatest, and there's nothing you can do about it because you have no argument. There's nothing you could bring up because stats and metrics do not matter. And then you're like, oh, well, wins win. Well, that's a statistic. Wins matter. That's a statistic. Even though it's a team sport, and I don't think that's a quarterback statistic, but still a statistic that you're using there. So I just don't. It's no matter what, you have to use it, but can your argument back it up? There's a reason why Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen have high QBRs, high passer ratings, high air yards per attempt. There's a reason why Patrick Mahomes has the clutch traits that he does have, because statistically in situations he always manages to come back and win those games. And it's So I think you need to have
What else we got?
QB wins are not a stat and are the most useless metric in sports. You don't believe in any. Sorry, Ty Alston. I think Mac Jones is the greatest quarterback of all time because you don't believe in wins. You don't believe in QBR. You don't believe in passer rating. You don't believe in comp percentage. You don't believe in wins. You don't believe in context of wins. I can say whatever I want because it's at that point it becomes your opinion and my opinion. That's all that matters. You create an argument. And you're not going to have a great player. A player's not going to be great if their QBR, passer rating, comp percentage, and air yards per attempt are not high. those things would be low if he's trash. And people who say that statistics don't matter are people that do not have an argument, or people that just want to win an argument, because statistics do matter. It's the cumulative of statistics that matter. So you need to back it up. And if you don't believe statistics matter, if you don't believe in metrics that don't matter, then no matter what, you will never be convinced. There is no argument to be made. No matter what, this player is always going to be the best to you. Because anyone can say any player is great. I can say Jake Moody is actually the best quarterback of all time. You cannot prove me wrong. You cannot do it if you do not believe in statistics.
Jake Moody.
You could. You could. There's no metric.
Jake Moody's. He might get through it. He looks like Nick Mullins a little bit in his helmet. Nick Mullins always had that my helmet's too tight look, you know. Stuffed in there.
We'll move on to the next thing just real quick.
Okay.
It's the context of the win, not that wins matter. It's the context of the win. What did he do in that game that matters? So let's go back to statistics. What was his statistic in that game? What was his passer rating? What was his QBR? What was his comp percentage? What was his air yards per attempt?
Man, Jimmy G went out in that game, and that ball? Brock Purdy came in there. Man, he was a man possessed. That was a man who knew the game, who knew the game plan, and who executed to the fullest. When those Dolphins, given the context, and I really wanted, you know who does a great job with this? Brad Graham. Brad Graham initially was like, man, Purdy ain't really all that. I went to the game. I was at that game against Miami. I said, you know, Brad, go back and look at the film. Just analyze it and look at all 22s. Brad Graham goes back and he says, whoa, that ain't, hold on. What happened right there? In the stadium, it looked like it was just a regular throw. It was an out pattern. I think he went to Brandon Ayuk on an out pattern, opposite hash. But they were barreling down on him, and he had to stare in there to the last possible second and deliver a strike across field, 10 yards down. And to the naysayer, to the average observer, it was just a completion, not a big deal. But when you go back and look at it in the film, you saw that this kid did something that 3, 4, 5-year vets don't do. And that's be stared down, barreled down by some players who at the time Miami was picked to beat us that game. And they had beaten us up, and it looked really, really bad. And Jimmy G had gotten knocked out. They had broke his foot. And for that guy to be staring down 0 blitzes and quarterbacking like that, throwing off platform, taking hits as he throws, man, I'm sorry, man. That he showed me just what I needed to see on that December week 14 game. I knew we had the guy. I know that's the guy. I know it is. I know it. Nobody's going to talk me off of it. Nobody. And then the next week he comes back. I say, well, maybe he had just a great game. Now, for you to go 28 unanswered against the GOAT, and for the stadium, Levi Stadium, as a collective, coming together saying Purdy, 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 ain't no need to talk no more. We good.
We'll go ahead. Just a couple address a couple comments. Jimmy G completes 7 passes a playoff game and got the win. Yet another example of why it's useless. You just used the context of why it wasn't. You just used a stat, and like I said, context is what matters. You just used the context and a stat to prove your argument. Stats and context matters.
That's the context and the stat. Yeah,
that's a context and a stat. So it's an argument to be made that he didn't contribute. But if I didn't believe in statistics, I'd be like, well, you know what? I still think he was the greatest quarterback of all time, and still we still got the win. Greatest quarterback of all time. Context, stats do matter. I don't need numbers or stats to tell me what my eyes are seeing. there is such thing as two things being true. You can look at something. Okay, that's great. What they're doing is great, and what you're looking at that's great will show up on the statistics. Will show up accumulatively, not just one stat. I'm not talking about just one. I'm talking about multiple stats. What your eye test will show you. If it is something great, then it will show up on the statistics accumulatively through everything, not just one thing. But your eyes can lie to you. It could show you something that you want to see. So if you have bias, you're going to see something that you're just going to convince yourself to see, and you're going to convince yourself this guy is not good, this guy's not great. Well, what's your argument? What is behind non-biased eyes? What is your argument? You could easily say, well, I don't believe statistics. I don't believe that. It's my eye test. Well, that's just your opinion. The eye test is literally just your opinion backed by your own bias, your own opinion, with nothing to back it up. So you need to have context and you need to have statistics to create an argument when you're talking to somebody else saying, hey, if this guy's great, this guy's good. Because again, I can just say with my eye test, Jimmy G is the greatest quarterback of all time. You cannot argue it. You cannot argue it if I can just say that. I can literally do that. I'd be like, Patrick Mahomes is the worst quarterback of all time because he's carried by Andy Reid. You're like, oh, what's the proof? With my eyes. I see it with my eyes. That's you have to have that. You can't go into a trial and be like, that guy's innocent because I know an innocent man and I just know it. You can't. You have to have evidence. And
Ty is in here saying, well, he didn't beat Joe Montana. Hey, man. Hey, I'm a 49er through and through. Probably been liking him before you were born. Hey, Tom Brady is that dude, man. If you're not on board with Tom Brady being the GOAT, I'm sorry. It just I've been making the argument since about 2004, 2000. Whenever he got that fourth Super Bowl, it ain't much more to talk about, man. He's that guy. He is.
Tom Brady's that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we'll move on. We got this whole Brock Purdy conversation and stuff. So we'll move on to the.
Okay. Yeah. And you touched on it too. We brought in Chaz. What's his name? Chaz
Surratt.
Chaz Surratt.
I had him in Madden a while back. He was not bad.
Yeah. He's a pretty big kid. And I think it's going to be significant. And he may be able to help bolster one of those linebackers positions as well. They kind of got him odd for special teams, but I think it can be what I call a collateral benefit if he pans out and can play and give significant contributions as a linebacker. Maybe not to the level of definitely not to Fred Warner or our draft choice Nick Martin, but maybe he could be that third in first and second down like Aziz was.
You think Chaz Surratt can actually be a starter on this team? Like a backup death piece.
You got it like that?
Is that what you're saying?
I think he could at least challenge for it, you know. I think so. With the excitement that they say, he's got, I think, 39 tackles. I looked at his stats real quick as they said he was coming in, but we'll see. They were really big. They're really excited about this kid, man. They're really excited about it. So it adds to the intrigue of the OTA and the preseason to see how he can possibly be a welcome addition.
Some people say that guy's he's going to make this team. That's what the brag is about Chaz Surratt now.
That's what I
going to make this team. And I'm like, okay, we're just signing him now, but okay, all right. I mean, if there was somebody out there like that from the jump,
it ain't like we got Hendrickson. Oh, hey, how do you feel about Hendrickson? He's out there apparently, contract disputes with Cincinnati Bengals. Go figure. I wouldn't mind bringing Mr. Hendrickson in. That if we got a little bit of change, if you got something left over,
I'm not for it. I at first there was a time that there really honestly was. But the reason why I'm not is because just how much money he's going to want to get paid. and he doesn't want a 1 year deal. He wants like a 3-year plus deal.
Okay.
And we can't afford to, and the Bengals, from what I heard from my research, they offered $28 million already. So he wants more than $28 million.
Okay, we're moving on.
So I can't afford that. If he was willing to be like, well, let me go to a contender or possible contender to maybe compete or something like that, and I'll still play on this contract, then I would be like, yeah, shoot him a third or a fourth or whatever for a 1-year rental. All for it. But I don't. It sounds to me if he goes to trade somewhere, he's going to want a fat contract. He says he doesn't want to break the bank. He doesn't want $40 million. So it's got to be somewhere between like 35, I'm guessing, 34. He's going to want something like that.
It's a lot.
He's only offered $28 million. I'm like, that.
Yeah,
I've also heard he's not the best run defender.
No. See, that's the thing. Our run. I think we got the guy as far as run defender on the outside opposite Nick Bosa, and that being our first round choice. We got him in the building. What I'm looking for is we're hoping that Mykel Williams will show us some great pass rushing artistry. But if you need a pass rusher versus a pass rush artist, I think this is the guy, and you bring him in on third downs and let him get down and really be formidable.
That would be
another point that Larry Krueger made, man, and he eloquently put it on out there. You don't want him going to Philadelphia or Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of those things that, maybe you don't have quite the space or quite the personnel for him to fit, but I know damn well I don't want to be facing him 2 times a year with those Los Angeles
playoffs,
and I hear they're sniffing around. That's
it. That would be crazy. I mean, that's one reason for sure. I understand, but it's like sometimes, man, it's just on the cards where you just can't afford it, and the only thing you do is just hope and pray he doesn't go there. And for me, like, it's a good reason to, but I think something like that shouldn't dictate you trading for somebody, because you can say that about every great player that potentially comes on the block or hits free agency. You'd be like, well, let me get this guy so no one else can have him. Let me get this guy so no one else can have him. And so you can only do so much. And especially on a team where we have all these players and stuff like that and how set up we are, I like the idea of it, but the money is just not there. It's just he's 30 years old. He doesn't want a 1-year rental idea. He wants to be solidified somewhere. So if the Eagles get him, man, that would totally suck. They got an absolute baller. If the Rams get him, that would actually suck. They got an absolute baller. But I think we can't play scared like that. Like, we have to be like, let the cards fall the way they fall. If it's not in the cards for betterment of the team, then don't do it. And it
would be the betterment of the team. You're bringing in a double digit. I think he had 22 sacks last year.
17 and a half.
17 and a half. Okay, we you couple that with Nick Bosa, you solving your pass rush problem, and you're making it more formidable. You become the fearsome foursome in the National Football League.
But you don't think that we'll be adding too much of a burden when it comes to contract on that, because it's not like a $15 million contract or a $10 million contract where you can afford it. At that point, you're committing a lot of money to where you're going to screw over somebody that we want to sign possibly next year or the year after that, because we got players. If Jared Brown balls out, I think he's going to want a contract next year. There's the Lenore guys paid, but Green's down the line, and things of that nature where you just don't want to mess with that flow. If it's in the cards and they can afford it, if Parag can make it happen. If we trade for him, I'm not going to sit here and be like, we shouldn't have done that. I'm going to trust them that they did it. But if you're asking me on the surface level of things from how I stand right now about Trey Hendrickson and his contract stuff, I would say no. But if Parag can make it happen with the players and still be able to sign the players that become great in the future, like Pearsall, Pooney, and all those other great players are still able to do that, and also sign Trey Hendrickson, do it, and I'll be excited. I'll be like, hey, I know it sounds like I'm a homer at that point, because at first I'm against it and now I'm for it. But if they do it, they're telling me they can afford it. They're telling me that it's the best move and they can afford to do it. So I'm like, okay, that's what they're telling me. But by them not trading for him right now or not making a move for him tells me they can't afford to do it. And if you can't do it, I want you forcing that issue. And then we become stuck like the Rams, where they were just trading for players to get that Super Bowl, and then they were screwed for a couple of years. And it's just like I don't want to do that. I much rather
back. The Rams are back. They won the West last year.
Yeah.
And they were in the playoffs and in the thick of it. It can be done. And segue into our next segment, the details of the Fred Warner deal, which is structured so it saves us about $13 million.
$13 million.
And we do have the second most cap room in the National Football League right now. So it's something to look at.
We're at $52 million right now because after Fred Warner's contract. After his extension, we all the way to 52. I think Lombardi said 46, so I don't know where that's coming from.
I heard 46, but yeah.
According to Spot Track and Over the Cap.
Okay. I think Over the Cap has it at 40 something, which is either it's New England with the most and us second from the statistics that I saw or the numbers that I saw.
Over the Cap says 52. This is Over Cap right here. It says 52.3. Spot Track says 52.3 as well.
Okay.
So either way, it doesn't really matter because either way, it's still really high. It's still a lot of money. It's still up there with a shit ton of cap, despite having to pay everyone. So this is a giant, and excuse my language, fuck you to every single person that said the 49ers can't pay everybody. They're screwed. That's what it is. It's a giant.
That's what it is. Yes, people, that is some all you haters. Stuff. And shout out to
Brock and keep Fred.
Shout out to the front office. Front office working out here, but it can be done. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. Thank you so much, front office. Parag, Mate, all of you guys. I think we hired somebody new just recently. Y'all have done a very good job. You running the off season in my eyes. Hey.
Yeah, that front office right now is cooking. They have a great situation. Next year, they have $23 million in projection because we all know that we don't know what the cap is going to be like next year. This is all just projection, but the project to have $23 million next year. And then the 49ers after that will have $14 million. And that's not counting rollover. So they're set because they don't have to pay Pearsall for another couple of years. Same thing with Pooney. They're not playing for a couple more years. So until 2027.
Yeah.
Who else? I'm trying to think of some other players potentially in that contract. Green, if he's still good, Mustafa, all that. But the thing is about that, you'd be like, well, 2027 is $14 million. They backload those contracts. So that means they're going to have a minimal hit in 2027.
Yeah.
While they're going to count for 2028 and then 2029 and all that, where Fred's deal, Kittle's deal, and all that is already going to take an effect, and that's not going to matter anymore. So it's like you're just switching that cap hit from the Kittle to Fred to these players now. You're just so you're moving on. So they are in a great situation.
They did a wonderful job. They're doing a good job. Good job. Shout out.
It's a family show. Show me one little kid that hasn't cursed, okay? Show me one little kid that hasn't given. I'll never. Oh, this is random. I worked at a Fred Meyer, right?
Fred Meyer?
Yeah. Okay. You ever heard of Fred Meyer?
No, I never heard of Fred Meyer. Is that like
they're part of not Kroger, but they're part of I can't think of the
Harris
part
Teeter.
of a family. Like Kroger is like Albertsons and like some other stuff. Like they're I think they're Kroger. I could be wrong, but Fred Meyer, I work there. It's like a grocery store / it's like a wannabe Walmart almost. Best way to describe it. You buy lawn stuff there, trinkets. You can buy guns there.
One of those everything stores. I got you.
Yeah, one of those everything stores. And this little kid, I thought it was adorable, and I laughed every single time. So I kind of like reinforced it. He would flip me off every single time. And I just thought it was the funniest shit. And I don't know why. I have no idea. But I'd be at the register, and then like once he leaves, he'd be like behind his mom, and he goes, I just laugh. I thought this is the funniest shit ever, dude. This little kid. I was like, you're a little shit at home. I know it. So kids curse, man. Kids curse. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
awesome.
I'll tone. It's been an hour and 40 minutes into the show. I kind of thought, okay, maybe I'm safe from.
You good. You're good, man. Be you. It's your show, man. It's your show. You go ahead and do your thing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, coming back to what we're talking about here.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
Hendrickson.
Hendrickson.
Possibility.
I'm not. Yeah. So just put it all together. I'm not interested in that. But if it happens, I will definitely be ecstatic. But I know you definitely want Trey Hendrickson from what I see. But I just think that contract is just too high and it'd be too much. But
Callis says someone giving Wolfie the finger. Never would have thought it.
Hey man, I'm a good guy. Okay, just because I'm fire at talking football. All right. Not everyone can hang with me. Okay. All right. Rod says Wolfie smoking with me. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So Trey Hendrickson. I mean, so kind of come back to the OTAs thing here. What we were just talking about the special team stuff.
Yeah.
What are players that you're looking forward to in the defensive side of the ball that we know the players like Nick Bosa is going to ball out. Fred's going to do his thing, right? But we know Lenore's going to do his thing. But there are some interesting, like, what are your most excited players you look forward to? Players you're not worried about at all, where you're like, okay, that guy's going to be great. He's going to, from step one. Like Green, the rookies like Mikael Williams, Mustafa being out, so Jair Brown's going to be there. Is that someone you're looking forward to seeing?
Yeah.
Who's going to be that free safety guy? Because I know Sigel's hurt, but I've heard he's going to be back for training camp. I could be wrong.
Sigel's hurt? Sigel's hurt?
Yeah, Sigel's hurt from what I heard. Someone told me. I think that was Larry Kruger.
That was going to be my answer there, because we got issues back there in the back door with pause with safety. With Mustafa being out, we let go of Talanoa Hufanga. You got who we got there? Jair Brown, and we got to get that roving free safety solidified. Also, too, Upton Stout. I want to see how he interacts and can get in as a slot or possible free safety. These are
Julian Blackman's out there. I mean, there's Justin Simmons is out there. I know he's old, but 1 year rental. That guy, he's still got it.
He can play. He's decent.
It is one. As you're saying free safety is probably like your biggest, like, that you're probably gonna pay attention to.
Yeah, that center fielder's got to be that, because we got a lot of box safeties. We got a lot of undersized linebackers is what your box safety is primarily. We need that guy that can roll center field and make plays and be a ball hawk, and very Earl Thomas-ish. Who is it? The best one ever, Ed Reed. Those guys that can really play chess with the quarterback's eyes and make plays, because if a football field is 53 in the third, he's got to go quarter, half. Sometimes he's got to cover 25 yards horizontally, and the depth of the field is infinite. So you're making big plays back there. We gotta have that guy. And hopefully it'll pan out. So I'm most interested in looking at our secondary and seeing the interaction we have with Robert Saleh and his staff, and just we just got to get on it, and we got to get on it quick. I think the corners can be okay, but back end safeties, that's what free safety spot,
especially like you're gonna be like, we should have traded up from Akuba. That's what you're gonna say. If all falters,
why you bringing up Hurts? Like, I love Makuba, man. I had big plans for Mr. Makuba, man.
Eagles now,
Shout out Baltimore, you robbers.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I totally understand where you come from, because it is a big question mark. I believe Richie Grant played good in 2023. But in 2024, the reason why his stats don't look very good is because he was buried in the depth chart behind Justin Simmons and I think Jesse Bates is his name. So like he was buried there, so he didn't really have opportunity to play. But if you look at his stats from 2023 and 2022, stuff like that, he actually performed pretty well. Stuff like that. Some Saints fans don't like him, but there's potential there with what was it? Pinnock as well. I liked what he potentially could do. Yeah. He has some potential there, but it's all just a bunch of what ifs with these free safeties and potential there. You don't know what you're gonna get. I know Juan and a few other howlers who watch the show, stuff like that. They're not a fan of the free safety position either. They're very concerned, and I can't blame them for being concerned. But my comfort to them is that Robert Saleh is in charge. So it's kind of like what I'm saying about Brant Boyer. I'll say the same thing about Robert Saleh. Is like I trust him to know what he's doing. I trust him that he knows the players to get to work best with them. It's kind of like what Ty's saying here. Saleh just needs to simplify things for guys and do fine. Mm-hmm. Whatever his approach is, I trust Robert Saleh to get the best out of these players. So whoever becomes free safety, I'm like, all right, that guy, Robert Saleh chose that guy, so that's the man. That's the guy who's going to be able to do it.
Rolling with it.
Let's roll with it. But it's definitely going to be a competition. Like without a doubt, that free safety position is something to keep an eye on. Like if you start saying Pinnock and Grant getting interceptions, you know who's going to be the first. You know who's going to be the job and stuff like that. So yeah, I agree with you on the free safety one. But for me, honestly, the one I'm paying attention the most that I'm excited to hear about is that D line. I want to know how well they're performing on the D line. I want to know how because I don't think Alfred Collins is participating until his contract.
I think he's got an issue. Is it a knee or
I think he's got an ankle or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Some lower body situation happening there. But I also think he's not participating because he's still waiting on the contract. CJ West too. I don't know if
that's my guy.
I don't know if he's participating either. Like, is he going to participate when he's? I don't know what's going on there, so I'll pay attention to that. But I want to see how this D line performs, how they look. Do they look aggressive? Are they making the offensive line look silly? Even though that shouldn't be hard to do on the interior, to be honest.
I pay money to go see CJ West versus Brindle in one-on-ones. I do love to see that.
I that's my biggest thing. I wonder if that's actually going to work out. The linebacker thing that kind of comes third to me because I do agree free safety probably the second one. Linebacker when you got Fred, your secondary guy with D Winters could be Nick Martin and all of that. But that kind of comes second. Corner, I'm really not concerned there at corner. Like I feel like the third guy for
that's
corner,
a good take.
Like the third guy at corner is a little like okay, is it Stout? Is it one of the backup guys we got? Like there's that little bit of question, but compared to that free safety spot, D lineman and linebacker, I feel like those three are probably the most to look out for because the D line, if it's great, it's going to make those corners look better. If the linebackers I feel like the linebackers too apply to that. If the linebackers are great, it's going to help make the corners better. Safety is good. I feel like corner's hard. I'm not trying to say corner's not hard. It's just
corners. They say quarterback is the toughest position. The toughest position to play, ladies and gentlemen, is cornerback. A average speed person can get open on you in 3 seconds. Those corners have an immense job. If you want to know what playing corner is like in the NFL, go down to your Y or where they have open runs everywhere in your city, and go and grab the best 18-year-old in the gym and try to hold him to 0 points in a 11-point game. Play him one-on-one and hold him to 0 points. That's what playing corner is like in the National Football League. Find a 6'2", 6'3" 6'2", 3 height 18-year-old in some of the greatest shape of his life and try to hold them to 0 points. That's what playing corner is. It is tough.
It's a tough job, but
it is tough. It's the toughest in the business.
But they definitely could benefit from
covering.
less time of having to cover and stuff like that. If the quarterback is pressured and they make a bad throw, they could benefit from that. So it's kind of like if
Yeah.
you have a good linebacker, you good front seven, those players, even if when it
Yes,
especially comes to safety too as well, who can play back and knows how to support
and help you out. That safety is so important because he's your backstop. He's your bailout when you have to gamble on a quick out or a quick slant that could go on an out and up. You can feel free to go after it and hone down on it and go for his top shoulder versus if you're iffy with that safety in the back and you don't know, hey, you're playing off. And if you're like me and a lot of fans, y'all hated seeing our cornerbacks play off, let the guy catch it, run up and make a tackle. You play off again on third down. He guy makes the catch. You got to run up and tackle. And everybody's sitting at their screen, watching television and saying, why don't y'all play coverage? Stop letting them just go down the field on you. It's you worried, man. He always going to be able to pop one in the back on a double move, and you just are incensed because it's going to make you look bad. Everybody look bad. The defense look bad if it goes deep over your head. Pause. And corner's a hard position. It's the hardest position to play to me.
Yeah, it definitely is. And so I'm not concerned about the corner situation. If the D-line can play great, linebacker play great, I can trust everything else will unfold right. And I trust Robert Saleh. I'm excited for this defense and what it brings. It's really young. But yeah, that D-line for you is the safety. And then we got the linebackers, corners, not too worried about that. So it's just it really, and we're going to move on to offense too as well, like what you're most excited and stuff.
Yeah.
But the defense, I just want to say this about the entire thing. There are so many new pieces, young pieces, that the entire offense, from offense, defense, special teams, where there's so much excitement that you can't wait to watch all of it. Like all of it, I'm excited. I don't think I've been more excited about OTAs, minicamp, and training camp than I have in a long time, just because of these new pieces, these young guys.
Yeah. And even the coaching staff is new.
Yeah, like you say, yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like
it's got to gel and congeal and they got to get the concept, get an attitude, get a culture, and have the moxie to know everything that's going on, have a full understanding of what Saleh wants to do. You're gonna pick up on new reads. I know this used to be fire. Now this might be fire, or Mike stick. Fire. All the signals are going to change and everything. So Fred is looking at him like he's speaking sign language at the Helen Keller Institute of Play Calling. You got to learn all this stuff new and make your adjustments accordingly. And it's going to be based on how well you grasp the concepts and know everything that's going on and how well it's taught. And are you getting the whole culture and the trust factor of Fred a lot of times got in trouble trying to make plays because he was trying to compensate for guys like Greenlaw not being there. Who was the cheat? Who did cheated the quitter? Devondre Campbell.
Devondre Campbell, yeah.
But Fred would have to jump in and become Superman because Devondre Campbell's a step behind. He ain't getting it all, and your D line's giving you issues. So Fred's got to jump and take chances that he normally wouldn't take, given a solidified will linebacker beside a solidified strong linebacker beside him, Sam. So that's going to take a little bit of time, and that's going to take a little bit of some knuckling down and really getting the concepts and the play and the terminology and everything else.
We don't say the quitter's name. He's just 59.
59. All right. Somebody else might get 59.
Someone else is gonna get that.
I want to hone it into the person that just didn't go in. It was you, Devondre Campbell. You betrayed us. You're the Fredo in The Godfather.
Yeah, exactly. So Yeah, I mean, it's a very exciting OTAs, very exciting mini camp and stuff like that. Something to react. I cannot wait to see it all. So to jump into the next thing, offense. Obviously, what is your favorite, your most anticipated, what you're looking for line, not line, but position group that you look forward to seeing, and one you're not too worried about?
Um, it's almost a tie with
Hmm.
receivers and offensive line. Um, with BA not being here, I want to see if Ricky P makes that step. I'm hoping that Cowing, who looks like he added a little bit of muscle there, Cowing
It
looks
looks good,
good.
yeah.
I want to
Practicing with
see
Brock
him
Purdy
get
and all that, yeah.
and on the offensive line side, man, Brindle, man, Brindle. Um, I I don't know, man.
Maybe he
They
got better.
they
Maybe
keep
miracles happen.
saying
He got better.
and you know I stopped wanting them to I'm not even gonna ask. I'm not even gonna say anymore. But you know they want Brindle and they saying he all right. He's good and this and that. But dude, I just saw too much film with him. Just
It's being
that
genuinely
you
ass.
know that is not who you would. It's like having Barney Fife as your uh as your security and you got to go to New York to with the diamonds and a meal in cash, you know. That ain't the bodyguard I want, man. Especially not for my quarterback. I'm giving 265 mil, 181 guaranteed. I don't know, Wolfie. I don't know. Those are my ties there. Uh as far as the offensive backfield, if McCaffrey is an inkling of what McCaffrey is
Mhm.
and has been, we are good. I think that Jordan James will come in there and be a bit refreshing. He's a true running back. He has instincts. He's innate on being slow to it, fast through it. He can catch out of the backfield. He's got to get this blocking assignments correct, and Bobby Turner will make sure that goes. And Garindo to the wall, to the sweat drops down and fall. Garindo's not an innate running back. He's not. But if you give him the seam, he can hit switches and go
He's
and
clutch.
show that 4.3.
He's
But
clutch.
if you're looking for him to make the stutter step, to move, to see with the peripheral vision and have the mental fortitude for his brain to connect to his feet and get to different holes, spins, and stuff, he's really not that guy. He's not that guy. But given the hole, hey, pause. He'll hit it and
Um,
and go quick.
yeah, I'm a little different on the ones I'm least worried about, but I'm also I'm with you on the offensive line. Like it's almost like a tie. I know exactly what you mean by that. Where I'm excited for the wide receiver group and what Jacob Callan can do. Can Pearsall do his thing? What does Jordan Watkins look like? What does Isaac Nayer look like? I'm excited about that too as well. Like there's so many things that are question marks that you're excited about, not worried about necessarily. That you're like, okay, let's see what they got. Also, Demarcus Robinson, he will be suspended first 3 games, but he will be able to do OTAs, training camp,
What's
preseason.
the suspension? Is that
He had a
PED?
DUI,
Okay.
so it wasn't like it's still bad, but it could
Yeah,
be
but
worse
but
things from
I-
the
yeah,
NFL. So it could be a lot worse. But he's going to be out there. I'm excited. Like, can Brock Purdy connect with him because we're going to need him after those 3 games. We're going to need him. So like, there's things I'm excited about, but when it comes to like worry thing or the thing I pay attention to the most, where I have to keep track of it, it's the offensive line. I need to know that they can do their job well. I need to hear from Fortnite's content creators being like, hey, that line's looking like it's meshing well. That line's looking a lot better than it did last year. I'm going to pay attention to that a lot. Like that's going to be my go-to thing. All the negatives and positives, I'm always going to pay attention to that. Is Brendel I'm not expecting it better, but my concern is, did he get worse? So it's like that's what, like, hopefully it doesn't get worse. That left guard position, there's a huge question mark there. Can Ben Barch even stay healthy, and can he repeat the performance that he had against the Bills?
He can't stay healthy.
He can't stay healthy, and I don't think he's got enough consistent tape out there to really be like, he's got good tape, but it's not enough to be like, okay, that's who he is. It's just so I'm a little the left guard position. I'm concerned about that. Trent Williams, he got worse last year. Let's be honest. I know he lost the dollar situation, could have been the reason why. He was still good. Like, don't be wrong.
Yeah.
But when you're older like he is, there's this possibility that he could get worse again this year.
He was out of shape too, Brent. Wolfie. He was out of shape because he messed around, held out. Comes into camp.
Exactly
those week before dudes, and then you look. Week 2. I think week 1 he's over there. Got to go get some oxygen, Gatorade, and an IV. And these are hot games, man. You ain't in football shape. It don't. You ain't got that snapback. Wash after wash no more, like some new pair of Fruit of the Looms. You start getting up north of 35, dude. Hey, man, you got to go in there and put the work in and hit that treadmill and get those summer reps. You can't mess around, man. And I'm hoping that'll play into him a better performance and being better.
Because he's there. He's actually there now because he was there during voluntary stuff. And so
I heard. I saw a picture of
him
really
putting the effort in. So, but my question is for Trent, like, can he, how much worse has he become? Because that's gonna be a big deal. And then can McKivitz, show something, be as good as he was last year?
Yeah.
Is he still doing his thing? Is he thrown on his back by a rookie? Backup death pieces. I won't pay attention to that. Does Pooney look the same? Like, that's another one. Sophomore slump.
It's a sophomore slump could happen. Yeah, Pooney's
it's the entire offensive line has a question mark. Not one of them you could be like, I'm not worried about it. I know I can trust that person. The one that I'm least worried about is Trent, like, honestly, and then second is Pooney, and the rest is McKivitz, Brendel, and that left guard spot, which is just one giant question mark. You don't know who that is. So it's like a bunch of family members that are just unique in their own ways with their own problems. And it's just
I don't know. We're gonna have them over all over for Thanksgiving dinner.
One's gonna be abnormally super tall. One's gonna be super short. One's gonna smell like shit. It's like this funky bunch of offensive linemen that you just don't know what you're getting.
It's a motley crew.
Yeah, so I'm worried about the offensive line the most.
Yeah.
The one that I'm not worried about the most, and I'm excluding the quarterback because we all know how I feel about Brock Purdy. I'm going to take that out of the consideration of this, is the tight end position. I think tight end is nothing to worry about. I think tight end through and through, there's no what ifs. There is no like, okay, we should have done this or anything like that. I guess you could argue like, hey, maybe draft one, whatever. But realistically speaking, you got the blocking tight end that you need next to George Kittle, which is awesome. You got Ross Dwelly, who knows the system, and he averages 11.9 yards a carry. I think he's got a good backup receiving tight end ability that's vanilla with the system, so I'm not worried there. And you got a couple projects on the wing to be your fourth guy just in case, like Mason Pline, Tungus, and I think another one I can't think of.
I haven't seen Pline play. Have you ever seen him play, actually?
I have never seen him play. I've seen him college tape. And I liked what he could bring there potentially.
And he's been on the team a year or two?
Yeah. He's been on for a year. We got him last year. So
okay.
Strawberry says he's concerned about tight end if Kittle goes down. Well, yeah, I'd be concerned about all the
positions. Kittle go down, Strawberry,
worried about. If Trent goes down, I'll be even more worried about that. If wide receiver position, where Persall goes out, I'll be even more worried about that. If running back CMC goes out, I'll be worried about the running back position. Quarterback, same thing. But I'm just talking about as a position as a whole, what they're going in with.
Given everybody's healthy and ready to go, these are the things that
there's question mark wise. I don't think there's a question mark with that tight end spot. But if you want to bring an injury into it, then I'm concerned about every single position on the 49ers team. Like there's not one position I would not be worried about at that point.
It's a 100% injury game.
So
people gonna get hurt.
I like what they bring there because if Kittle goes down, I trust in Ross. I do trust in Ross Dwelly to go out there and still perform and catch some balls. He's not going to be as good as George Kittle. I'm not saying that, but as a third depth guy, second behind Kittle to be your dude, I think it's a solid backup tight end to do that. So that's my least concern thing. Running back, sort of, and it's really just like you put it, CMC. Like Jordan James, I'm gonna give him a shot, even though I hate that pick so much to this day. But I will be open-minded to the idea of him being good. I like Isaac Grendo a lot. I was sketchy about him when we first started because I thought he was too raw, but he showed a lot of flash, I thought. I'm a big fan of this Corey Kiner guy coming in there. There's a lot of excitement with that running back situation.
Traditionally, Wolfie, Connor Kivey, what's his name? The Cincinnati running back. Corey Kiner,
yeah.
That's gonna be our guy because traditionally we always draft a running back and then get this unsigned, undrafted free agent, and the free agent is always better than the drafted guy.
You're going
every time. We do it
gotcha.
Every time. Corey Kiner will see more playing time than Jordan James. We do this every year, and then we come back and what do we say? Man, you didn't even have to draft running back. It's just as
well, no. We had to draft Jordan James because if we didn't draft Jordan James, then the spell wouldn't have worked. That's how the spell works.
Yeah, we need the spell.
Draft him in the third or fourth round, and then we get the undrafted guy, and that's how Jordan James contributed.
That's the ingredient
by doing that. And it's the only way it works.
Recipe. We do the recipe. That's it. Yeah,
that's it. So, I'm excited about the running back position in itself, even outside of like the question mark of CMC. Is he the same? And he's supposed to be like full go and stuff like that. But even if you're full go, can you still do all those things the same? We don't know. That could hinder him. Full go doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be exactly the same. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. But yeah, I'm not worried about the tight end position, but the offensive line is probably my biggest worry because if the offensive line can at least be good on some level, then the backup running backs, Isaac Grendo, Jordan James, Corey Kiner, possibly all those guys, if CMC is not the same, I think would help them out a lot. And I believe in them to an extent in this offense because offense always does well with running backs. So that kind of helps out a lot. So that offensive line is going to really dictate the talent of the wide receivers, running backs, and quarterback. Like it's just how much are you going to be able to support those guys? And so it's just, like I said, it's just a funky family of players that I hope works out. But I'm excited about the wide receivers, worried about the offensive line, not worried about tight end, and so it would go in that extent. But I will say this about Brock Purdy real quick. I'm not trying to sound like I'm doubting him at all because I'm not at all. But like I'm not saying like money is going to change him because he doesn't seem like that type of guy where he gets money, all of a sudden he's going to be a different dude. But we know what happens when players get money, like they change. So is it possible that once he gets his money and everything else, it's not the same? He's the franchise guy and solidified as a franchise guy, and his job is solidified. Is he going to be saying because like you said, competition makes you better. But once you become the franchise guy and you get that payment, the player themselves are going to feel like, well, I'm the guy no matter what. So is he going to feel the same heading into games? That he still needs to work for his job, work for that money. We'll see. I don't think that's the case, though. He doesn't come off a guy like that.
No.
But I'm not going to ignore that whatsoever. I'm not going to be like just throw it to the side just because I think he's not this dude, because that's still a potential regardless. Like, because if he's comfortable and he feels like he's a franchise guy, he could be very nonchalant about it. But I don't see that coming from him. So it's like there's that weird what if in the back of my mind with him. Okay. That's it. It's not on the forefront.
It's reasonable.
Yeah.
I tell you, and Kylie knows where I'm going. Tarrerdome, ladies and gentlemen, trust and believe. Money does not change you. It makes you more of what you already are. If you were an a-hole, you're now a bigger a-hole on a bigger stage than you've ever been, and you'll do more outlandish a-hole stuff. If you were a grinder, you're gonna grind even more. If you were a giver, you will give even more. That's all money does to you. It makes you of what you already are. It was already in there, but now you have the means and the resources to do it on a grander scale. That's just what it is. You're not going to have a humble uh, man and give him $1 billion, and all of a sudden he becomes this non-humble, non-giving, not caring anything about anybody person. Oh no, no, no. You give a brat money, he gonna be a bigger brat. If you give a humble man money, he's gonna stay humble in his reserve and just continue to be what he is. He don't really like the spotlight. He don't really like going out. He's an introvert. That's just what he is. But he gonna do introverted stuff on a bigger scale. He's got a bigger house to be introverted in. Really, what money does to you, it's been proven time and time again. I learned that from the great Deion Sanders, who uh, signed that deal with the Dallas Cowboys after he left us, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that." Well, Dion was already this and already that, but he went to Dallas and he became more of what he already is with the 35 million. That's just simply what you do.
Yeah. He was always like, doesn't matter what the money and stuff like that. He always went out and balled out. He represented. He'll throw his body around out there to win games. I don't think that changed. I don't think that changed either. I don't like I said, it's in the back of my mind. It's on the forefront. Like, it's not a real concern, but I'm also just not going to ignore.
Yeah, you know the deal, because
Just not going to ignore it.
It's happened to a lot of people. You know, they get the money. Like, I remember before AB signed his deal, I remember Ryan Clark saying, "Hey man, don't give AB that money, man. don't give him that money, man," because he had seen around the facility, AB would do things like just throw his towel at the towel boy and just knock trash over and not care and do whatever. But he was so talented. Pittsburgh had to pay him. And when they paid him, oh, he really started cutting the food, because you've given me license with this stack of money to be what I already am. I'm a good receiver, but I'm gonna cut the food even bigger. And y'all know what AB is right now.
I think AB is as massive CTE. Like, he's got crazy amount of CTE.
It could be.
I feel bad for him to an extent, but it's kind of like because just like he's broken is what I'm trying to say. Like, he's just a broken person.
Yeah,
and he all that fame and money. It's absolutely crazy. But but I do agree. Like, even before the CTE stuff, that potentially he was probably this person, and then amplified it for sure. I mean, it's for sure. So let's move on to the one other thing real quick. It's kind of like a fun subject that we recently heard. I don't think you wanted him, but I wanted him badly, and I thought we would give him at 100. But according to Cam Scatabo, who's currently a New York Giant right now, said recently on a podcast, I can't remember with who, but he says that he thought he was going to go to the 49ers at 100. I thought he was going to go to the 49ers at 100 with all the players taken and considering what was available. He was confident that's who the 49ers were going to take him. And I got to say, I'm hurt by that, because I do think you could have got Stout later or whatever, and you could have still got Cam Scatabo. But it's up to him to make the 49ers regret not doing that. It did seem like he was disappointed that he didn't go there and going to the bum-ass Giants. So it's kind of like, It's sad. I know there's a lot of 49ers fans too out there that absolutely love Cam Scatabo, wanted him to as well. So to know that he wanted us and we wanted him, and then it just slipped out of our hands. It really kind of hurt, like to hear that, and it also makes me feel like I want to root for him now, not to like to get revenge on us, just because he grew up a 49ers fan, wanted to be a 49er, thought it was going to happen. Where you're kind of just rooting for the guy. Yeah, and he didn't talk shit. It wasn't like an Aaron Rodgers thing where he was like, I'm going to make him regret not picking me. No, he was like, I really thought I was going to go, man. Like, it was like he looked bummed. And I was like,
he had it lined up. And this happens a lot, Wolfie, man. In the draft process, when we're scouting people, they talk to these guys, man, and they assure you, hey, if you're available, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I learned that with Randy Moss. Randy Moss had been down to. He tells the story. He had been down to Dallas. He met with Jerry Jones. He talked to Michael Irvin. He had been over to Dion's house. It was gonna be a done deal. They said, Randy. Jerry Jones said, I promise you, if you're there, Randy, we're going to take you at 17. I promise. Man, draft day come and them plans change. You feel let down. You feel hurt. And it, conversely, Greenlaw tells a story that he met with everybody at in the 49 organization, man. He had good rapport with Holland. And he said, man, Kyle Shanahan looked at me like, yeah, so did you work? What about your work? Yeah. He said he looked at him. He said he didn't even look at me. He went back and told his family. He says, no way I'm going to San Francisco. That guy don't like me at all. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And these things happen. They play with your emotions a little bit, man. They make you feel like you that special one. You're lining up a prom date and they telling you, get the corsage, get ready, girl. I'm coming to get you. And you be sitting there waiting on you.
Definitely hear the stories every year. Everyone's got a story. It seems like that they were told this and this is going to happen and stuff like that. So you could never take any of those things to heart or be like, okay, that was a unique thing for them to do that, to like say they're going to pick me here and not pick him and not pick me there. But they can't. It's a very common thing. So for what happened to Cam Scatabo, it's a very common thing where he thought that he was going to go there. Like you said, Randy Moss, Drake Greenlaw didn't think he was going to go. Yeah. And there's other stories, many stories.
Yeah, man. That draft is tricky.
And Strawberry makes a point where it's like if 49ers were to draft a guy, the third pick, Cam Scatabo. I know there's people who love Cam Scatabo and be all for it. Like there would be that group at 100.
Oh, I saw the fit. When you were talking about him, and I went back looked at it. I saw the fit. That guy, he's that tough runner. That pays attention to what he's doing, can block. He fit the profile. He fit what we need. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah,
he's got heart too. Like his heart is incredible. He's got incredible heart, and I do agree that there would be a cult of people who would just jump on Kyle and be like, you're stupid for drafting another running back in the third round, Cam Scatabo, and they'll pull out whatever they possibly can about how trash he is and stupid to do that. So of course I do agree that there would be that conversation. But I feel like that happens with every pick almost, but yes, very specifically that third round pick. Yeah, probably.
I'll go as far as to say this. We let go of Juice. And remember, he went up to Pittsburgh, saw that the grass wasn't greener. He came back and says, hey, I'll take the lesser money. I'll take the deal. Let me stay here in San Francisco. If Juice doesn't come back, Scatabo's your guy. It would have happened.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Convinced. If Juice doesn't come back, Scatabo would have been here.
Yeah, because I think he could play that fullback position because he could pass block, right? And he could do those short run things, stuff like that. So you got like a running back, fullback that can back there. So I agree with that assessment. I like that. I don't think that's a stretch.
That's
whatsoever. And that probably what pushed them back in the order of things. They probably weren't lying when they said that, hey, we want to get you, but because I think they had meetings before that whole situation
Oh
happened.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not. It's a bummer that we didn't get Cam Scatabo, but if we got him, I would have been behind it 110% because I thought he'd fit, like you said, he fits the offense. I think he fits the offense absolutely perfectly, down to a T. And he probably would have played that fullback position for sure. So yeah, Cam Scatabo, bummer. Wish you done with the best man with the Giants. Kind of sucks because their offensive line is absolutely trash, and it's just not.
Who's their
quarterback? Not work out over there.
Who they got? Russell? Is it going to be Russell Wilson?
I don't know. It's either Jackson Dart, Russell Wilson. It could be Jameis Winston. It could be Tommy
famous
DeVito.
James. Yeah,
and they got Tommy DeVito. They got who does the
the money.
Honestly, I think if you asked me to put money on it, probably Russell Wilson. Like I mean, out of all of them,
he was at the Knicks game. He was at the Knicks game.
Was he?
Yeah, he had nice seats too, floor seats, and he had a New York Giant. I thought it was a New York Knicks jacket on, but it was a New York Giant Letterman jacket. It was a pretty sweet jacket, but yeah, I saw him there.
Yeah, he's very. When I will give Russell one thing, even though he's corny, he's really corny. Says the weirdest shit. But
let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride. Or you've seen that Subway commercial where he has his own sandwich. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen that?
No, I need to see it. The Russell Wilson.
Whip it up, man. Like pull it out. Let's see if pause. But I mean, like go to look up some. I don't want to get. Pull it up anyway. This is towards the end of the show.
I'll search
pull it up and we'll throw it. We'll throw it on the screen if we get booted or whatever. It's the funniest thing. What he does is he eats a sandwich and he's saying the most corniest shit. Oh, you want to know what's dangerous? Because he's supposed to be like Danger Russ. That was his nickname or whatever. And he just says the craziest shit. And some people turn it into joke where like he's a serial killer and they put ominous music in the background. And it's like, don't eat my sandwich. It's spicy. And he's just,
here you go.
All right. Go ahead.
I call this one the fork and knife. I call this one the blind. Big bite. The drop of the left-handed. Wielding the upside down. Here comes the airplane. And the most dangerous of all, the rapper.
I haven't seen that one. That's not the one I'm talking about. I haven't seen that one.
You see that? Oh, I thought I googled up Russ.
There's another one out there.
Okay.
There's one right now. Strawberry's talking about where he goes, it's very spicy. He goes, it's spicy. He does that whole thing. There's another one where he's not wearing glasses.
Okay, hold on. Here you go. Yeah. Maybe this one's it.
All right. This looks like it.
Hey, you want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good.
Well, this ain't it.
You got a few of
sandwich.
Be careful, though. It's spicy.
I made you a sandwich. Eat it.
This isn't it, but for the most part, you get it.
It's spicy.
You ever done anything dangerous?
I used to be a butcher. I made that just for you.
Jeez. That is dangerous.
Eat the sandwich. I made it for you.
I've done something like that, too. I won't tell anybody.
That's Jeffrey Dahmer from the movie, the Dahmer movies.
Yeah, from that. Yeah,
that is.
Someone edited the commercial.
Oh, oh man, I'm like, dude, what are they doing?
No, but you see how that works though. It's just kind of like and then what? Well, someone did an edit where he's like, that part where he says, "I'm dangerous. I done something dangerous before." It cuts to the scene. It cuts to the Super Bowl where he throws the interception at the goal line. So like right when he says that, it cuts to that part where he goes, "I've done something dangerous before." And then it cuts to that. And it's like, oh shit, dude, yeah, that was dangerous. So it's spicy, and then someone adds like ominous music in the background. With that, it's the creepiest, weirdest commercial ever, the corniest guy ever.
I pull for Russell, man. He's from Richmond, Virginia, too, man. But Russell just be like, "Oh, Russell."
He another one where he goes, he went on a live once. He's like, "I got an alter ego. I think everyone should have an alter ego." And I think you know what mine is. It's called. And he's stuttering like this. He goes, "It's unlimited. I'm Mr. Unlimited. You see, you got to be unlimited." And that's what I am. I'm Mr. Unlimited. And he says it like that. And it's just like, Jesus, dude. And someone edited it to make it sound like he's saying something else. Someone did a voiceover edit. He's going, "I'm Mr. Unlimited Diarrhea."
He lends himself to get, he makes himself a target. He just makes himself Russ, you can't give him nothing to hit, man. Just be cool.
Well, it plays into what you said about the Let's Ride thing. That was like so like that took a life of its own on social media. People were obsessed with it, and because it was so, it's like I don't blame him for that though, because it's like, yeah, of course the behind the scenes edit with no music and things of that nature, of course it's going to sound corny of him going Broncos country, let's ride, and then him saying it over and over again. He's saying it over and over again, so you get the right take. So I don't even hold like the other ones. I hold them against you because it's edited and you see what he did and you're like, okay, that's corny. That one thing where he gets a lot of crap for, I don't blame him for that because it was a behind the scenes footage of him trying to say Broncos country, let's ride. And I don't see anything wrong with that. They're Broncos. Like, so yeah, let's ride. Let's do it. Let's
just comes off cheesy. It's just some things just don't hit. And it's like he's always looking for the line. He's looking for, like when politicians run for office, they're looking for 9 words. And it's, you want to fit everything into this statement that's just going to stick, you're no Jack Kennedy, whatever the case, and he just can't hit it. They don't hit the mark, man. It's just like, that ain't going to work.
So with the Giants, what is his next thing? Is it going to be Giants Den? Let's stomp.
Yes.
You know what it is? Like, that's how it's going to be.
He's going to pay thousands of dollars for that, Wolfie. So save your best idea for that.
But
Giants, let's be Giants. Giants. It's the way to go.
Something like that. Yeah, for sure. He falls into, he for all the corniness and awkwardness of he does give 100% to whatever he does. So like if he's going to be a Giant, he's going to represent the teams, even though they're not Giants, so I do give him credit for that. Yeah. Even if it comes off a little corny or like ridiculous and awkward, he's still giving his 100% to the team. So
he jumps in the water, man. He's going to give it everything he's got, whatever, you're getting the maximum full Russell experience.
Yeah.
Whenever he ingratiates himself to the city or whatever team that he's representing, man. I think he's a good dude. I do. I think he's a wonderful dude, but he just come off just corny. Corny.
According to Marshawn Lynch and all that, like he didn't ever talk to the team, and he was always
he didn't. My cousin played for Seattle. The year they lost the Super Bowl to New England, and when he came to Carolina, the whole family went down there. He actually picked off Cam Newton that day, and after the game, the families come in the back of the stadium and meet up with it was Marcus, and I met Cam Chancellor and had prayer with him, man. And my wife's got a picture with Richard Sherman because he only took pictures with women. And I ain't really want to mess with Richard because I'm still hurt on that NFC Championship. And I asked Abe, where's Russell Wilson? And my aunt Marcella said, "Oh, he don't, no, he don't, he never." And they go to all the games. You know, they meet up with Marcus after all. And she said, "No, Russell don't mess with." Mm-mm.
He keeps his
Yeah.
work separated from his personal life.
Yes. Yeah. That is for y'all. He's somewhere else making commercials or something. He never comes.
Entirely.
Marshawn Lynch is exactly what you think he is. That him and his dad is wide open. Them people is Oaktown for real, for real. Marshawn, you would not be surprised at Mr. Marshawn Lynch. He wide open. He a good dude though.
Yeah,
man.
he's really he does not give a crap. He'll say whatever he does say and stuff like that. So Marshawn Lynch is fun and things like that. So I always kind of thought that's kind of like the downfall of Russell Wilson is that when you're the quarterback, man, I totally understand not shitting where you eat. I understand the whole concept of keeping things separate, and because if one thing sets on fire, then it connects to everything else. The rest of the place falls apart. So I understand that part, but when you're a quarterback of a team, you're supposed to be a leader of a team. It's supposed to be more family and cohesion. It's not like you're a manager of a store or something like that. You're leading men into battle all the time and things of that nature. You need to create that foundation.
Yeah,
you should be a little bit more involved with those players.
Yeah,
so that way you have that family, that familiarity, and that cohesion. So for a quarterback's job, it's different. You are the leader. You have that C on your chest. If you don't have the C on your chest, I can see why that's not an issue or whatever. It'd be like, okay, it doesn't matter. He's not a leader, so it doesn't matter for him to do that job. But once you become a captain, stuff like that, it is your job to lead these men, be that commander, check in on them, make sure they're doing their job and things like that. That's what you're getting paid extra for. That's why that C is on your chest. And that's kind of like the downfall of Russell Wilson is that he just never took that on the field. It looked like he took it personal, like where he gave everyone high fives and, the high five thing's weird.
But his defense, those guys had just really huge personalities, and they knew, the Legion of Boom knew that they were the catalyst in the success of the Seattle Seahawks. And he was kind of along for the ride, but by proclamation of his position, he was getting a lot of the notoriety and stuff. And, I'm going to be honest, man, the boys felt some kind of way about it every now and again. They, the probably statistically, sorry, but of the last 20 years, probably your best defense statistically, those 2011 to 2013 Seattle Seahawks, they were just putting up numbers in interceptions and points against a lot better than everybody else. They were really, really, really
good, dude. That defense, that Legion of Boom was something else to witness. And the fact that, like, compared to, like, the Ravens won and defenses like that, even our good defenses that we've had in the past, to get a front row seat 2 times a year, sometimes in the playoffs too, and stuff like that, of what they can do and what they are, the fear they bring it to. Like, I'll admit it, like, I feared that defense as a fan, where I was like, I don't know if Colin Kaepernick can figure this out and make this happen. I don't know. Like, they got Richard Sherman. They got crazy
Cam Chancellor. That hit Cam put on my man Vernon Davis. That solidified it all. That kind of encapsulated everything. That one where it's a go route. It's him down the rail and Cap hangs it a little bit. And, Vernon jumps up to get it, and it is on every hit reel ever, man. Cam got all of that. He's got 2 big tattoos on his trap muscles that say "Bam Bam," and he said his goal is always to hit you with that trapezius muscle, and he got all that bam on that hit.
After that, that's when Vernon Davis had a concussion, and he was not the same after that hit.
No.
That hit, I hate to say this as a 49ers fan, it changed Vernon. Like, Vernon was not the same after that hit.
Yeah. He done knocked
It's really
and they were
sexy.
friends. They cool people. Cam is from Chesapeake, Newport News, Virginia, and Vernon's just up the road in Maryland, and they kick it on their off season and stuff. But for that time and that hit, ooh, no,
That was a brutal hit. At the time, I was like, penalty. I was like, flag, foul. That's whatever you want to say.
You hit that man too hard. No, give him some.
I was like defenseless receiver. I don't think defenseless receiver was a thing back then. I don't know how long ago
they flagged them. It's a flag on that play. They said that was it was murder. It was attempted murder is what it was.
It was a brutal hit, and it changed Vernon. He was not the same. He just he couldn't catch right. He was afraid to catch things up the middle. It struck fear into him. But that's just how good that defense was. Like even as a fan, you knew that even if Russell Wilson had a bad game, that defense was going to possibly just the interception they needed to score the right points.
They were always in it. They went against some good ball players that made them look pedestrian. They got Tom Brady. They got in the Super Bowl, they got Peyton Manning. It was over before the first snap of the game went over his head, and they never looked back. Man, it was a rough game. Denver was really good that year as far as offense. They were prolific.
That year is the year that was considered the greatest offense of all time. Where he broke records and passing records and all of that. Everyone thought Denver, against the best defense in the league, that Denver was just going to walk them or at least compete with them, right? No, man, it was over from the jump. Nothing was working. It was really weird to see. It was one of the weirdest things to see from going from historically the greatest offense of all time to just being looking like Nathan Peterman out there.
Wolfie, that's how it usually. That's why I am the biggest proponent of being a really great defense and running the ball. Every time you try to go back and look at every Super Bowl with these prolific offenses, every NFC championship with these great offenses, if we put up 33, 35 points a game, they always lose at the end to a great defense. They will always lose it. Always.
You're not wrong. There's a video I was going to make I was actually going to make a short about this actually today or tomorrow or something like that. Whenever I ran out of ideas, if there's nothing going on, I have some spare, green screen stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
One of them was it showed the top 10 greatest offenses of all time, like throughout the years, points per game and all that.
Yeah.
Only one of them out of 10 has won a Super Bowl.
Really? I was going to say 0. Who was the only?
Green Bay Packers. And with Aaron Rodgers, was the best offense that year, and they won the Super Bowl. So still 1 out of 10, that's crazy.
Yeah, usually that. But if you go to the greatest defenses, all of them got it.
Ravens,
the Steelers. Man, it's the 76 Steelers, 76, 77 Steelers. Do you know they averaged 10 points a game?
Oh, they weren't. Yeah, I've
seen
the Terry Bradshaw stuff. I've seen this.
They had 5 shutouts. They were incredible, man. I think it's like 6 Hall of Famers on that side of the ball alone, man. They were just something. Mean Joe Green, Jack Lambert, Dracula in cleats. He didn't even have the front teeth. L.C. Greenwood, Mel Blunt. Tony Dungy was a daggone nickel. They were ridiculous. Yes.
Oh.
They were
I can't see that.
ridiculous.
So this kind of comes into this is something we could talk about next year, next show. I have a couple of little fun subjects we could talk about.
Yes, sir.
Next show, which is, I was wondering if you're interested in ranking the nucleus players of the 49ers, which are if you think one is not, let me know, but I'll just give you an idea. CMC, Purdy, Kittle, Trent, Fred, Lenore, and Bosa. And I don't think I'm missing anybody else.
That's it.
That's the list. And I was wondering, next, let you think about it and stuff like that. We can talk about it.
By all means.
Again, take out the quarterback aspect because obviously quarterback would be number one because Brock Purdy's number one. Try to remove that from the aspect. Who do you think is not only more important but the best and talent wise in that aspect from top to bottom? Like
yes, and we'll match it up against who's the best at their position by how much in the league.
So I'll give you a spoiler now. Like for me, number one is Fred. I have Fred.
Okay, I can understand.
Best linebacker in the league, leader of the defense, super important. Like there's just so much that involves with Fred because of that defense that I have him at number one on the entire team when it comes to just being great at his job, being the best in the league, and things of that nature. So that'd be a spoiler.
I agree, and I'll just have to just counter argument just for the sake of doing it. I'll throw George Kittle at that because I think he's the premier tight end in the National Football League. Even though Kelsey may get more opportunities, I don't think he has the blocking and the blocking prowess, and much is asked to do of him like a George, a spiritual leader. And we could do it like that.
That's gonna be fun because because we'll have a little bit of disagreement. I already made the list and stuff like that, so we'll have a little bit of disagreement.
I'll do the same. It'll be good. That'll be a good exercise. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do a shorts version of this, but I would love to do it with you though as well.
Yeah.
Is who are the GOATs of each team in the NFL? So, for example, we just talked about the Steelers. Who would be that number one pinnacle guy for each team in the NFL? With us coming into the season with less things to talk about and stuff, some fun subjects we can think about, I thought that would be a good conversation to talk about. So let's say 49ers, number one to me, pinnacle, number one guy is Jerry Rice. That's my number one.
You're right behind me.
The face GOAT of
that
franchise.
That's my GOAT for the San Francisco 49ers. Yes.
And then we'll go through every other team. We'll probably just do like not all teams, so we'll probably do every other week. We'll do like this division.
That's cool. Yeah.
So that way we can spread it out. But that's something we can talk about too. But yeah, I'm glad that you think Jerry Rice is too, because some people say Joe Montana. I'm like, yeah, he's second.
You can go with a second there. But
that's probably what I would do there.
Jerry's the GOAT of GOATs, man.
And Brock Purdy at 3. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. He's got a lot of proof for
write your hate mail to Wolfie.
Let me off, as that one kid would probably do.
Yeah, we'll stay heavy on this one.
But yeah, so you're available on Tuesday.
Okay, yes, sir. Yeah, we'll do it Tuesday.
And I think that's when all the OTAs, I think it's when the OTAs are done. It's Tuesday.
I had the dates up, man. It's on the San Francisco website.
I'm curious, because if it's on Tuesday, it's the last day, then we will have a lot of information about what's happening.
Oh, we're going to have plenty. Let me see here.
Red Jet.
Red Jet in the building. Hey, Jet.
I make troll videos all the time. I get hate mail all the time, so it's okay. I get called a clown. I don't know ball all the time. It's okay. If you're gonna be a content creator, man, you gotta have a thick skin.
Yeah, you gotta take it. Yeah, okay. You're messed up, but I'm not.
So but I always engage though, and some people tell you not to do it, but I always engage because more comments means more engagement, means my video goes out more. So I always engage.
It would have been concluded. We got San Francisco. Their dates are May 27th and through the 28th, May 30th, and then they start June 2nd through 3rd, and then June 5th. And
weird.
Then we got mandatory minicamp will start on June 10th.
What? Wow.
It's coming right along, man. The season comes at you fast.
When is the I hate to keep asking, but like when's training camp?
Training camp will start. Well, training camp isn't until the end, probably the end of July when they report.
Like July 25th or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like so, because last year mandatory minicamp and all that ended on June 4th. So like a whole week ahead is kind of interesting. So you're saying mandatory mid-camp starts on June 10th to like what?
They have 10th and 11th is a mandatory minicamp.
10th and 11th,
10
just
to
2 days.
11.
Okay.
And then they'll just take a break, and then they'll get in.
Like I said, that's still technically a month and a half. That's usually how long it is.
Yeah, they get that break. Mandatory minicamp 10 and 11, and then rookie development starts May. Well, that was May 12. Off-season dates, total off-season dates. Give me some off-season dates. When do we report? That's that phase 1, phase 2, phase.
So it says the first preseason game's July 31st. That's pretty fast.
It's coming right up, man.
Yeah, we're getting some earlier dates.
Workouts June 5th, mandatory minicamp 10 and 11. Where's the date? When does the
training camp start? It's got to be like a week before.
I'm sorry if you can hear that. They got a commercial on.
I didn't hear that. You paused. Okay. You paused it. Sorry, you went mute.
Where's it at? What is this? You ever heard the commercial going on and you can't find it?
Yeah, it's usually down where you gotta scroll down and you can probably find. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. It's so annoying. Yeah.
It's like
sometimes it's covered up with a pop-up ad and you can't pause it.
Yeah, I gotta put away the all pop-ups.
Valerie says, "Have you seen Any Given Sunday? Awesome movie. I have not."
Oh yes, awesome. Al Pacino plays the coach. Jamie Foxx is the quarterback. Steeman Willie Beeman. It's got Lawrence Taylor. Jim Brown is in it. Man,
Al Pacino is the head coach.
It's great. Yeah.
I need you to go out there and throw me some touchdowns.
He makes a speech like that. That's a good Al Pacino. Yes, sir, man. Al Pacino is coach.
That would be so funny. I could not stop laughing at that.
It's good. It's really, really good. I got a whole.
Hello to my little running back.
You got to get out there. You got to do something. We're getting hammered. He makes this speech about 1 inch at halftime. They win the game. It's awesome.
Every inch counts. All right.
Yeah, man.
Like my wife always says.
Terrell Owens, that's good. But Terrell Owens is in it along with Bill Bellamy. It's a plethora of stars in there. Dick Buckus is in it. Man, it's really good. It's really good. Everybody's got to see Any Given Sunday.
Apparently, this is your cousin Valerie Johnson.
Hey Val, my God, I know how I am, cuzzo. I watched the whole movie. Hey Val, there you go. That's Val sees movies, man. I tell her about a movie. Val ain't gonna watch that movie for 5 years and then come back and tell you. You know something? I just
saw Black movie. You were 14.
She just saw Black Panther like last year or something. And she called me. Black Panther is amazing. Val, I watched
that movie already. That's crazy.
Said, it was so good. I love you, Val.
I am. By the way, I am trying to watch those other movies, the gangster movies you recommended. So far, I've only gone down to Scarface so far, and I already told you how I feel about that. But the I'm still waiting for these movies to come up on streaming because I got Prime Video and Disney, and I don't expect Disney to have.
No, Disney's not going to have.
Not going to have those gangster movies. So Prime Video, I'm waiting for the movies I'm waiting for to come out are Goodfellas, and Godfather. So I'm waiting for those two to
definitely the Godfather, man. Godfather 1 and 2.
Yeah,
it's pretty much for me, they're the best 2 films ever made. They have everything you need. Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola. I'm sorry, Francis Ford Coppola does it. Scorsese does the Goodfellas. Yeah. Martin Scorsese. They just hit it, man. It's quintessential. It's a quintessential classic.
So the moment that it hits the Prime Video, because sometimes they take it off and take it on, I'll definitely give it a watch because I'm not paying to watch a film. I got streaming services for that. Either I go to a movie theater or I wait for it to come out on.
It comes on cable a lot. The Godfather and Godfather 2.
I think I've seen that. I went to the. I have Spectrum. I went to the on-demand stuff. Sometimes I'll try to look for it there, but right now Scarface was on demand and it was on Prime Video, so I watched. So that's where I watched it. But so I will every now and again I'll check to see if they have it out there because every month they put out new ones and they cycle it. So and when I run into it, I'll watch it. I'll definitely text you and let you know, hey, I'm watching it, give it a shot, like I did last time with Scarface.
Yeah. You was like, hey.
I know that you were like, give it a shot, man. I'm like, I am. I'm watching it right now. Okay?
I'm watching, trying to do it. I don't like it. I just seen a great one. It's called, and I rented it. It's called Alto Nights, and it is Robert De Niro playing Frank Costello and Vito Genovese. These were some of the original five family gangsters in New York, where the term the five families comes from. And he did a remarkable job. Shout out to Bob De Niro. Bob De Niro, you're a legend, you're an icon. I am incredibly crazy about one Robert De Niro, man. And for him to play two characters opposing each other, man, in the way Barry Levinson shoots it and makes it a period film. It's placed in 1957 when these gangsters are really coming into fruition and it's being known. Just excellent movie. I recommend it. Everybody who likes real, authentic mafia movies, please watch Alto Nights with Robert.
Outer Nights? Is it Outer Nights or Outer
Tale
Nights?
is A Bronx Tale is right behind me there. That's one of my favorite movies. It's down there next to A Soldier Story. Bronx Tale is excellent. Excellent. Bronx Tale, yeah.
I haven't even heard of that film.
That's Robert De Niro's directorial debut. Has Chaz Palminteri, C, and Collusion. Everybody who watched Collusion, it is that deal. It is good, really good. Joe Pesci's in it as well.
Okay, I can see that because they're like really good friends and they're close and they work together. Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. So I can see that. That sounds about right. I like this comment by Papa J. The Aristocats is a gangster as Disney gets. I actually think that's it's a cartoon movie about dog. I really like cats or something like that, and I could be wrong, but I say the movies that I pay attention to the most, honestly, are like if it's a book I've read and they make a movie about it, I'll probably watch it. Like Dune, for example. I love the Dune films. I think they're masterpieces. Probably one of the greatest movies ever made. Timothy Chalamet, I call him the Lisan Al Gaib. I call him Muad'Dib. You've seen Dune, right?
No. I ain't too much into Dune. I've seen it advertised, and it is very popular, much respected. But
have you heard of Dune?
I have. I have heard of Dune. I have seen it on TV, but I just it does. It's kind of sci-fi, right?
Dude, yes, it's a sci-fi film.
I'm not a big sci-fi guy. I like.
Oh, dude! I like such a good book too, man.
I believe it. And if you're into sci-fi, I would strongly recommend you check out Dune. I just never really been into sci. I like. Maybe I'll do Interstellar. I liked Interstellar.
That's a great film. That's a great film. There's theories about how like that's supposed to be like. Some people say Interstellar is actually the main character is actually in the afterlife.
Yeah.
And there's like this whole theory thing breaking down about like there's signs that he's actually in the afterlife and this is actually just a test, not a test, but like he's in purgatory and he's just going through purgatory. And like there's like theories online on TikTok and all that break it down. And it's like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. So Interstellar is a fantastic film you can watch over and over and over again. I think that's a masterpiece too as well. And Inception, I like more. I think Inception's better.
Inception, you have to watch Inception probably twice to get
that ending, dude. Really jogs your mind. But yeah, I'm a big fan of. I like Star Trek. I like movies that bend your mind and like plot twists and stuff like that. I'm a huge plot twist guy. But yeah, Dune. I've read the book, so I'm super passionate about that movie. Dune Messiah is going to come out in 2027. I've read Dune Messiah. Robert Pattinson's going to be in it. He's going to play the bad guy. It's
Good actor.
a very good actor. He's a chameleon, dude. He can do a lot of great things. And the bad guy in Dune Messiah is a lot like that, where he's a chameleon. He has the ability to transform his body into anybody. He could be anybody. So I could totally see Robert Pattinson just being different people and pretending to be different people. I cannot. I'm so excited for that film.
You sound nice.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I could talk about the books I read too. Like, I mean, I read Rising, phenomenal sci-fi book. But we won't go down that road. We'll stay on moving. I don't know that many people that actually read books or anything like that, and that's usually where like I lose people. Or like I don't, it's either like you have the sports books and stuff like that. But usually when I talk about like Red Rising or what do I got over there, Aragon and things of that nature, Dune. Lord of the Rings. I'm reading Lord of the Rings for the first time right now.
Lord of the Rings.
That is a daunting task, man. It's sometimes when you look at a book, it is very, very intimidating.
Yeah, they got like hobbits and stuff in
Let
there.
me show you something real quick.
Go ahead, show me.
It is intimidating, man. It is intimidating. It's not that's the whole entire trilogy in one book. It looks like a Bible.
That's bigger than a Bible. That's like a study Bible. It's King James, man. That's a lot of reading there. You can go ahead. You got to have some time. That's like I would get that on audiobook.
Don't get me started on audio, man. I'm in a minority when I say this. Some people don't. Some people think audio and reading is the same. I don't.
It don't count. It don't count unless you read the words on the page for you.
Okay, I won't say like it doesn't count in the fact that like you don't know the story. Like you obviously know the story. You know how it goes. You know the experience, stuff like not the experience, but you know the story. You could talk about the story. You could say this and that. But like your description of how a character reacts in your own head is different from what the narrator is saying. And not to mention, some people will say like the audiobook is better than reading the book to some books. And it's like, well, obviously that means the experience is different. So that means they're two different things. So like you kind of get you get the gist of the story. And not to mention when you read something, you get your own perspective compared to the person who's reading it to you, where they're like their reactions.
As long as they're reading the words of the book, you can still formulate your own perspective of what it means to you. It's just
that's
heard in your voice.
Yeah, if you're reading it, that's different. But I'm talking about people who just have the audio book and they're just listening to the book. I think it's two different experiences. It's kind of like watching a movie compared to listening to a movie. You won't get the same experience if you were listening to a movie and watching a movie.
All right, I see that.
It's just it's just some people get upset and they'll make a whole TikTok about it, how they're like it's exactly the same. And I'm like I'm not trying to degrade you and say, hey, you don't know the story, but I don't think the experience is the same, and I don't think the your interpretation is going to be the same compared to someone who's telling you the story compared to you reading the story. That's how I look at it. But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge. I just got into reading like 3-4 years ago, and so now I absolutely love it.
You hitting stride. Yeah,
it's just like the greatest. It's such a. No one ever really tells you this, but like growing up, like I always thought reading was stupid. I didn't care for it and stuff like that. But like when you read, man, you escape. It literally actually takes you somewhere else. Your mind is focused on something else.
Yeah.
And it's building a whole other world while all your worries, the things that you get exhausted about, or if you're overwhelmed about, or, the reading allows your mind to escape somewhere else for however long you are reading. And then once you're done reading and you move on, you notice like, wow, I was gone there for how long you ever read. So I found like, wow, this is actually a really crazy experience. It's kind of like what Shelley says, like books and like music. You listen to music, it can take you somewhere sad.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and escape.
definitely.
Same thing
Yeah.
with books. It takes me somewhere completely. Like if I'm stressed out about something, or if I feel overwhelmed with something, or if I'm tired of doing one thing, if I do it, it takes me somewhere different. And it's such a good vice. It's a lot better than the pot, because usually I'd smoke pot and then play video games. And then I was like, now I got to stop smoking pot and just, read books now. And it's, so.
I got the 49ers starting training camp August 2nd.
August 2nd?
Yeah.
August
And I
2nd?
hope this is it. They keep putting dates out on 2024, which I don't need 2024. I need 2025. But
I was going to say,
it says 49ers training camp Friday, August 2nd. Time is 9 to 1 p.m. Practice is 10:15 through 12:15 p.m.
Didn't Strawberry said that the first preseason game is July 31st?
Let me see here. And again, let me make sure, because it's got a lot of it keeps showing me 2024 stuff. I'm searching for 2025. Why are you doing this? Training camp. I click on it, and then it's got 49ers signed linebacker Fred Warner to 3-year extension. And join us for the 2024. Again, it's the 2000. It keeps showing me. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't search this thing good. It's
all right. So the first 40, you might have it right, because the first preseason game is August 9th.
Keeps showing me this daggone 2024. I don't want 2024. 2025. We in, fool.
So August 9th is the first 49ers game against the Broncos. 49ers training camp.
Yeah, we got who we play: Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers this year. Yeah. In preseason.
Okay, so we're not. It's not until end of July. It's according to this, we're not gonna know until end of July. Sorry, we're not gonna know until early to mid July. We're not gonna know until it starts.
Okay.
Which is about 10 open practices. And it's supposed to be late, whatever. But yeah, I do see a lot of off-season program. You're probably looking at the same thing I am right now. April 22nd, mandatory mini camps 10 to 11. Yeah, so we're not going to know until early to mid July, according to this.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And I see that they got those dates of mandatory minicamp June 10th and 11th, but nothing after that.
Yeah, I mean, because it goes mandatory minicamp for however days, 10, 14, whatever it is, and then you go into your preseason week, right? Or does the minicamp connect with preseason? So like you have your 10 minicamp, and then the next day or 2 days later you have preseason game.
I think you have mandatory minicamp, take a break, come back, and then it's training camp. Training camp will like start. 10 days. Training camp. Listen, people start reporting at the end of July for training camp, I think, or it's something like that.
Is there a prep week for the preseason game? I think there is. I think there is a prep.
It has to be. Usually the first preseason game will kick off with the Hall of Fame game, and that is in that first week of August. But others will be subsequent to that. It'll start that first week of August. That second week of August will be your first preseason game, unless you're in that Hall of Fame game, which is everybody's showcase, and that'll kick off the year as far as preseason. Okay. That's usually how it goes. I don't have the schedule right in front of me for us as far as the first preseason.
Yeah, I think Cleo's right here. Usually there's like the 10 practices, and I think the next week is the joint practices. So like I think that's separate from the training camps. I think you're right. So it's all a little bit of a blur to me. Not gonna lie.
We'll come with the latest and greatest as we get updated, ladies and gentlemen. We're in phase 3 of OTAs, which will consist of conduct a total of 10 days of organized practice and activities. OTAs, no live contact permitted, 7-on-7, 9-on-7, and 11-on-11 drills permitted. So that's
Okay.
what we're gonna do right now.
Yeah, we got some good content here anyways. All right, that's good. All right, one last comment and then we'll bounce. Wolfie inspired to get back into reading. I was reading Shogun but fell off. I've heard I've heard
Shogun it probably as thick as that daggone book you got there with the Lord of the Rings. Shogun. Yeah. It was an excellent series too.
Yeah, it was. I know there's I've heard the show is better than the book, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It's called a book slump. Sometimes I've heard it's a phenomenon where like you read a book and then you're like it wasn't very good, so it kind of just makes you like you don't want to read anymore. It's like there's like a phenomenon like that.
Yeah.
I've read books I don't like. I just don't finish it. I DNF it and I move on, and then I go to something else. I'm not gonna read something I'm not enjoying like at all. But some people do that. It's like a phenomenon. You're immediately out of it. So I know what you're talking about, but you just gotta get back into it. Find another story that you enjoy.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll find that love again. But there is a phenomenon where you're out of it.
And that's what The Godfather started as Mario Puzo's book, The Godfather. And
is it a book?
Into a movie. It was a book initially, yes, sir.
Okay. All right, I got you. But yeah, James Patterson, by the way, I'm not a James Patterson guy. That guy, yeah. I hate to say it, Red Jet. I'm sorry. not my author, not my favorite author. But hey, if you like it, you like him. And until I understand, some people like Stephen King. I'm not a Stephen King fan because of it. I refuse that man's a creep. Do you know what happens at the end of the book It, Tarrerdome?
No, what does?
This is why I will never read it. And I'm not gonna and this is not me judging people who read Stephen King. I mean, it's obviously he's a highly touted one.
Tell me your beef with Stephen King, please.
My beef with Stephen King is the fact that the end of it, and it disgusts me. So I can never actually read his books because it makes no sense to do this. You know the story of it and how it works, like the children, and have to stand up to the clown or whatever.
Clown, yeah.
He's no longer afraid. My problem with him is at the end of it, and I'm not. I shouldn't even talk about this like on live. I should probably tell you afterwards because I don't know if I get in trouble for this. But he has the kids have at the end of the book because they have coitus. They need whatever it is, and because they need to solidify their bond. So the whole group has an orgy essentially with one girl.
That
at the
is
end of the book.
That's
so I'm like, why did you write that? You could have done so many things to put their bond together. What is wrong with you? And so I was like, that's disgusting to me, if you ask me.
Whatever happened to matching jackets?
That's a good tension breaker.
It was in the club at school. All y'all got the same jacket. Y'all on the same team. You bonded. You the T-Birds or the Pink Ladies, like on Grease. Now there's a movie, Grease. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
So that's why he sat there and wrote that scene. You could read that scene happening. And I refuse to read Stephen King from there on because that just tells me he's a weirdo. Maybe some other things as well. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm not giving that guy who's able to write something like that into a book. How it got past publishing, it got past multiple reread guys, I will never ever know. But that is just that I can't do it. I don't care how good that Gunslinger series is. I don't care how good Pet Sematary is. I don't care how good it is up until that point. You're not getting my money, man, or my time.
Yeah. I'm not too big on I'm not too big on horror. I might watch an M. Night Shyamalan
Horror. I like horror for its concepts, if that makes sense. I don't really necessarily like horror for its, it's never a good execution for the concept. I don't know if it's because it's a really hard thing to do, but like there's some of these things I actually do enjoy because it's either a fun horror, as in like it sounds terrible when I say that.
Freddy Krueger.
Like the dream thing that's epic. For some reason, I like the idea of truth or dare, and then something bad happens if you were to say dare or truth or something like that, and then you could do some scary things with that. But the execution is just never ever there. But I do like a good horror film just because that's a neat concept, but it never works out. Freddy Krueger, that worked out. That was good. I didn't really care for Friday the 13th and all that. It's just slasher.
Halloween scared me. I was a little boy when I first saw it. Michael Myers is the GOAT in terms of characters in a horror movie.
Michael Myers? You got Michael Myers.
Michael Myers Michael Myers scared me, man. He scared me. I was, again, it goes back like most psychiatrists and therapists would tell you, it goes back to your childhood. And I saw, man, that music still will. That
music, it does. I'll give you that. It's got that.
And he was quick. I think he ran a 4.140. No matter how fast you got away from him, he was there before you could think of it. He had great game plan. He was innovative. He got rid of everybody. Very thorough guy. If it's a draft of horror movie guys, Michael Myers is number one overall.
For me, like I would always, growing up, I always established logic to certain things. So, for example, Freddy Krueger. If I don't live on Elm Street, I'm fine. I don't ever have to worry about the guy. I don't live on Elm Street. I'm good.
Moved to Elm Street.
I moved to Elm Street. And there was Elm Street in my neighborhood too, so we stayed away from that. So don't get me wrong, I was scared as a child, but I didn't live on there, so I wasn't worried.
I'm not gonna move to Amityville.
I'm good. Michael Myers is not going to come out hunting me. I don't have a sister like that, or like I don't have to deal with that whole concept. Or I just got to stay out of his way. That's all I have to do. If I see a guy in a Michael Myers mask, just stay away from him. So, like that's the thing. If you get in his way, he'll slash you up.
I learned to avoid Michael Myers, man. He got
Chucky. Just punt his ass.
I know. Yeah, come on now. Chucky has a size disadvantage to no end, and we're taking an L by this little team. You better dunk on Chucky.
For real. He's just your basic, because anything that he does is anything that anyone else could actually do, but just at a smaller size.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to break in your house, hide in your closet, Chucky does the same thing. A regular person can do that. Someone is hiding in your shower, right? If I open up the curtain, I'm gonna notice the Chucky doll or a tall person regardless. So it's like no, he might hide in like small like compartments and stuff like that. But I just feel like when it comes to the hunting aspect, I feel like it's no different than any other guy who's like 5'5", for example. Yeah, man. If he wanted to hurt me.
He's a doll. He came in a package, and it's just I don't like that guy.
Yeah. I never even as a kid, I didn't understand the fear of the Chucky one, like Michael Myers even more, or Freddy Krueger, even though I live with that logic, being like, well, I'm not associated with those things that you have to be associated with to be hunted by those guys. But Chucky, man, he's just a literal freaking doll. It's not like he was a super strong Super Saiyan,
he won't know Michael Myers. He's not no Michael Myers. See, in Freddy Krueger, he's attacking your mind and your subconscious. So we've all very, very weak in our subconscious. Everybody's had that dream with no matter how hard you're punching, it doesn't affect whatever you're punching.
And that's the most annoying thing, man. You're fighting like your worst enemy and you're beating the shit out of him, but it's not doing anything.
and you giving him blows in that mug. So he's got a advantage there. It's in your mind, it's in your subconscious, and he can't be hurt. So he's one of the most durable of the horror movie people. He's a second round draft choice at best. He might be second overall.
Well, some people say that Michael Myers. It depends upon what kind of Michael Myers you're bringing up. Because some say that Michael Myers is actually a supernatural creature. Like he's more than just your typical man. Because obviously he can take shots and stuff and get up.
Yeah.
Also, some people say his teleportation abilities. There's so many things about him. So it depends on what your perspective of Michael Myers is to put him up there that high. Khalil said Leprechaun. That guy is a little okay. That guy's scary. See, that's Chucky, but with powers. that one was scary.
Man, you got powers. You're throwing powers in there now. That could be a little different, And plus, it's like on this side,
Yeah, it's almost. But the thing with that is just don't steal gold. If you find a pot of gold, don't take anything. He's not going to bother you. So. Hey,
now I'm getting ready to cross into the metaverse, and I'm gonna just tuck mine in. so I handle Debo and the Leprechaun at one time.
Oh, because you got the gold chain on. You're like, oh shit! And now we're talking about Leprechaun. Oh my god!
I'm gonna just tuck mine in.
I got nothing gold on me, man. So he's not gonna touch me. Okay, maybe some gold chocolates, but that's about as much we're gonna get.
I'm gonna put my gold chain in. So Debo or the Leprechaun, you come on, get me. I'm here. But Debo did. Oh Lord, God rest his soul. Debo passed away. Tiny Lister.
Yeah, he passed away. I only know that because of Debo actually from 49ers. I never kept up with that actor, but I know when he passed away, it was like a thing they had on TV where Debo met him and stuff like that. It became
they had like a pregame when you watch the ESPN show or Fox. He actually met him. That's when Debo was tearing it up, man. It had to be 2021. Yeah, it was around 21 when he was Debo was balling, man. Yeah. He was problem. It was 19 problems, and Debo was getting down.
Yeah, I miss that Debo. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So he really fell off hard. But all right, we talked about some horror movie stuff. You had Michael Myers. I'm gonna put Freddy Krueger on the top of there. But all right, we talked about some horror movie stuff. We talked about books for like a couple seconds. We talked about not really Fred Warner's contract, but just the implications of all the
and how our front office saved on the contract, and they constructed it really good to be cap friendly, and we are the first or second.
By the way, it's really up there.
Yeah, New England is first, but they don't have no ball players up there.
Yeah,
I think
they're working for
who's New England's star right now. Who's the? Is it Drake May is the quarterback? And
I guess it would be Drake May. Yeah, I guess that's their star on this. Is that what you mean, star or star?
Yeah, their star. It
would have to be Drake May, I think, at this point. And he didn't play bad last year. He actually has. I think he's got some potential there where he could be a good player. I wouldn't say top 5 potential from what I saw, but that could change. It was his rookie year. We don't know. Like I said, you need more than 1 year to prove yourself of what you are as a quarterback. So, but yeah, I think it's just Drake May. Who did they draft?
I don't know any Patriots, man.
I drafted a running back. I know that. I think it was Hendrickson. I think they got Hendrickson. I could be wrong. Henderson. Trayvon Henderson. I think got him. I could be wrong with that, but I know they drafted a running back. Christian Gonzalez. That's one right there.
Gonzalez is
the corner. That's right.
Yeah, he's
solid.
Decent ball.
So they got some stuff to work with. They're working from the bottom. They got a new head coach, new regime. It's probably gonna be a couple years.
Yeah, it's gonna be
before they actually.
Vrabel's there this year. Yeah, so
and I like Vrabel a lot.
He's proven. He did a wonderful job down in Tennessee when he was there. He had them at least competing or winning some decent games. They went to the playoffs.
Whenever they were upset, whenever they were not upset, but whenever they're underdogs, he always competed. He was a solid coach. They fired him. I thought firing him was stupid. I don't think they were losing because of him. I understand Tennessee wanted a fresh start. I get that, but like it's not like he went out there looking like John Fox or something like that. He went out there looking. He was still good. He was still doing his job. He just needed a better GM to set up a better roster, and then that's what happened.
Tennessee is a franchise that is always just not quite
always taking a shit.
They just Jeff Fisher there back in the day, and Aaron McNair was there. They went to the Super Bowl with Aaron McNair, and Eddie George was there, and since then it's just been
they had a flashlight in space moment where they just had that one little stretch where they were good.
Yeah,
Super Bowl, and then they just disappeared after that. It was a blink of an eye kind of type thing.
Bunch of startups.
And they just never quite got back on their feet again. I mean, they do have some good Hall of Famers out there.
They get some good pieces. They had Javon Curse at one time, and they put the quarterback in Vince Young as a rookie, and then Fisher just ruins him. So it was like that. Steve McNair was a beast. Yes, Steve McNair was that dude, man. He was tough as nails. He'd be injured so much he ain't practiced the whole week. Just show up 30 minutes before the game, get some cortisone, and get on out there and win. Alcorn State, that's it. Yeah, man. They called him. He was in school when I was in school. They would call. He was Air McNair. Steve Air McNair.
Air McNair, yeah, that was his name.
Steve Air McNair. He was.
And then we talked about rest in peace to Mitch Wisnowski's career. Appreciate you, man. Sorry about your back.
Wisnowski gone. They done got rid of Wisnowski for what's the punter we got now?
Thomas Morstead.
Morstead, yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to be good, not bad, which what counts. 1 year bridge rental until we find a replacement. Same thing with not same thing, but we signed Chaz Surratt. Supposed to be a stud. Everyone says he's going to make the team. That's high expectations. I don't know enough about him, but everyone keeps telling me he's the man.
They are on this guy, man. They eye on this guy, and so I'm interested in seeing him move and stuff.
And then after that, I guess thing to brought up. We didn't talk about it, but it's kind of a deal. Greg Joseph to compete with Jake Moody. We kind of talked about it. I love what they're doing there with that. I love what Brant Boyer is doing. They're letting him cook, let him do his thing. We talked about that. Cam Scatabo thought he was going to be a Niner. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. I wish him nothing but the best, though. Yeah. And then we talked about Pacers potentially most likely going to be against OKC in the finals. And I got the Pacers because of Halliburton.
Halliburton is a baller. He's a baller. Great shot. But the Knicks still got a shot. They got a puncher's chance in there, man. It's gonna be hard fighting back off 3-1. Usually it does not happen.
Usually it's done. Yeah. But, I mean it's gonna be really hard for them to come back from that, especially they're close battles, but I think one of them wasn't. But like it sounds to me like they have to constantly come back every single time. Like that's what happened with the OKC versus Pacers. They're down. I think the one game they won, they were down a little bit and they made a comeback and won. They tried doing that game last night and then that didn't happen either. And constantly having to play behind like that every single game just to win one is not a sign that you're going to win the series. Because
eventually you're gonna have a cold game. The bench ain't gonna be hitting, and it's just gonna be a blowout, man. It's gonna be bad.
And I'm probably going to do a stream for the NBA Finals because I'm probably going to root for the Pacers. I'll have something involved, so I might do a stream for those games.
Oh wow, okay.
So if you want to,
my nights I'm available. I'll come in. I'm always going to support you, but I will be there.
Yeah, man. I think it'd be an even better show, something to bounce off of course. That'd be great.
I'm being given statistics and game analyses.
And then I'll yell at something that I don't understand. He's like, no, that's okay. That's exactly how it's supposed to go. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll calm down. I'm like, okay.
Some of it's warranted. When you brought up the fact that, man, how are these NBA professionals missing wide open shots?
That will never, ever.
That is true.
If it's a wide open shot, you're making that, dude. You are like, okay, that's a whole other thing I can keep ranting. You need to make that shot. So that's all I gotta say. Like, yes.
Shout out, my beautiful wife is in the chat. Hey D, how you doing? She's at work. Hope I ain't busting you out.
This is Terror. Is that her right there?
Yeah, that's her.
Oh, she's beautiful, man.
Yeah, I'll kick my coverage. You gotta outkick your coverage there, man, and she running it back.
Yeah, you guys seem very happy together and stuff like that. We speak about her, so it's great that she supports you and stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, we talked about at the beginning of the show. I don't know if I should even bring it up again, but sorry about what happened with the church and things like that.
My co-pastor, man, rest in power. Co-pastor Glendora Ford, just a beautiful, beautiful lady and a beautiful soul going on to glory. Praying for my pastor. In the name of Jesus, galvanize them, cover them with your hedge of protection, give them all the strength and grace and mercy that they need, and dispatch angels of mercy, giving them the hedge of a canopy of protection around them, Lord God. The children, Chantel and Junior, Lord God, bless them, bless their souls, bless the church family of Kingdom Impact Global Ministries here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And we will see you on the other side in the name of Jesus.
Amen. Thank you to everyone who decided to show up for the show today. Thank you so much for being part of this. A very long show. Thank you for everyone for their kind words, supporting Tarrerdome and the situation he's going through right now, and the Ford family as well. Appreciate all you guys have to say about that. Papa J, the best smarter broken ass food.
Hey, Papa J in the hizzle. First shizzle.
There are so many people to thank. Red Jet Shell, thank you so much. Gammon Brown, thank you for being here. Mrs. Terror, thank you for showing up. Khalil Young, thank you for being here. Even though we disagree on a lot of things, still appreciate you showing up and having a conversation regardless. Strawberry, thank you so much for being here.
Ty Alston.
Ty Alston, thank you so much.
Light Skin Mafia is in the building.
Light Skin Mafia, is that his nickname? Thank you to Val for being OG, always showing up. Make sure she likes live.
Hey, Val.
Always showing up. And if there's anybody I missed at all, there's a lot of people, and I probably missed them, let me know in the next live. I'll give you a shout out. I try to make sure everyone gets their thanks and stuff. But thank you guys for making
charge it to my head, not my heart.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being part of this and making these lives with the art and the entertainment that it is, because it's absolutely nothing without you guys. So thank you guys for supporting both channels and helping us pursue our dream of, at least earning something from this, or potentially actually it being our job at some point. That would be amazing. It's nothing without you guys. Yes. I have noticed that Tarrerdome is putting out videos now. You're putting out those videos.
I come with the shorts. I clip up these big ones, and the segment is In Case You Missed It.
In case you missed it. There you go.
Some people are taking note, because I hear them in their chats, but they won't give me any props. But it's all good. I know you taking some of my concepts there, but it's all good. Some of Wolfie's concepts. It's all right.
No doubt. Would you like to give the outro here?
With everything, amen, everybody. We walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much.
Bang, bang, not a gang, baby.